Good morning, Copers. Good morning, you guys. It is Thursday, August 6th, not July anymore. Time flies. Good morning. How are you guys doing? That was, of course, Blondie with The Tide is High. Why is Darth Vader in that music video? I was thinking about playing the original version because I don't know if you know this, but that's like a cover song. And I like the original as well, although the cover is good. But then when I was looking it up, I saw the Darth Vader and I was like, do you guys know that's in there? I was like, I got to play this now. That's too weird. Julie, is she Jewish? Don't tell me Blondie is Jewish. Another attractive Jewess. We got JF on the show today. He's not here right now. He'll be calling in about 90 minutes. I told him to call in around 11:30-ish. He's going to go over the Dyer, Corey Mahler interaction that we had. We had a little treat. We had a little treat on Tuesday evening. Dyer was doing a debate with some nobody guy. And then Corey Mahler showed up. During the super chats, Corey just suddenly showed up and was pretty short. He wasn't permitted to speak, but JF's going to analyze that with me. You know, I watched JF do the, where was I? Well, I don't do shows on Wednesday. You must be new here. You must be a fake fan. I do the progress report when I'm not on progress report hiatus, which I currently am. I watched JF analyze the Andrew Wilson, Richard Spencer interaction, which was also like about 2 minutes long. And JF did a 1 hour breakdown on that I thought was really good. So JF's going to come in and give us the deep analysis, the deep French high IQ analysis on what happened with the ethics of the debate ambush, all that stuff we're going to get into. When I was telling JF about it, I said he said, yeah, I'm happy to do it, but I don't know anything about it. Can you send me some links?
Ked's Dead sent $3 on Power Chat. Dyer has been getting owned lately. Pine Sapped food him as well.
I don't know about that. I didn't see the Pine Sap thing. I wouldn't say he got owned. I wouldn't say Dyer got owned exactly. Unless you consider being scared of letting someone talk getting owned. But we already, that's not new. We already knew that. So JF is like, I don't know anything. And I sent him the links, but I said, I thought you were a little familiar because you retweeted my video that I made about it like 2 weeks ago. That's supposed to be the progress report, but I wrote that. Yeah, just ignore that. Oh, July. So Blondie's not Jewish? Okay. Phew. That would have been awkward. All those nuts I did as a teen. Just kidding. That's a joke. Blondie's a bit old for me. I said you retweeted my video, and JF said, "Yeah, I just retweet anything negative about Dyer." So I guess there's some kind of history there. I don't know what the story is. I don't know if they debated or what, but we'll ask him about it when we get him on the call. We'll get the backstory too. In the meantime, I have a whole bunch of stuff to go over with you guys, including breaking news, white pill alert. Chud the Builder has bonded out. Chud the Builder is back on the street. Hide your chimps. He is back. The menace, the white menace, is back on the streets.
We are in downtown Nashville right now where my brother Chud the Builder is in his final bond hearing. He's being persecuted for being a white man who defended himself versus a violent black assailant. His bond has been set at $1.25 million when the murderer, Carmelo Anthony, only $250,000. This is the definition of two-tier justice. We have to stand against it. The Democrat persecution of Christians must end today. Free Chud!
Okay, hold on. That just said he's in the bond hearing. This Chud the Builder has just made bond. I am at the courthouse now in downtown Nashville with his family rejoicing. So that wasn't included in the video. I guess the video was recorded. Nothing on the official X account. Let me just do a little quick off-screen search.
Shift Demeanor sent $5 on Rumble. Oh, they chimping out now.
Thank you, Shift Demeanor. I just want to see if there's any kind of confirmation other than Jake Lang saying this. I don't think Jake Lang would make that up. Jake Lang is on the scene in Nashville filming a victory lap because Dalton Etherly made bond. There is nothing coming up here. Other than the Jake Lang tweet. So hopefully that's true.
Nashville right now. There's been no release yet of Chud. This is just breaking. This just happened, but he has made bond and hopefully will be released soon.
We are in downtown Nashville.
All right. I'm sure that's probably true. Yeah, he's probably still like getting processed too or whatever. I said he was on the street. That's inaccurate, but he will be imminently. All right. Well, that's good news. That's a white pill. That's a gem alert. I need a white pill thing. I don't have a white pill sounder, but I have gem alert. Grand Theft Auto 6 announced a extended premiere dropping on Netflix on Thursday, August 20th. So this is like 2 months away. They're like, hey, in 2 months, we're dropping a video on Netflix about the game. And here's the little video they attached to the announcement. Trailer for a trailer. I thought this was interesting because this is like unprecedented. When has a video game ever had a TV show on Netflix to hype it up before it comes out? GTA 7, you're going to buy movie theater tickets to watch the trailer for GTA 7. You're going to pay $25 and go to the theater to watch the cinematic release of the GTA 7 trailer. They're being very secretive because it's not going to fail. They probably already are in profit from pre-sales. Maybe not. I don't know can you look up how many GTA pre-sales so far? I haven't bought my copy yet. They haven't released it. This says on track for the strongest pre-order campaign ever. Up to 5 billion by the end of launch week, analysts say. Dude, if you think this game is going to fail, that's even crazier than thinking the Odyssey was going to fail. The Odyssey had a small chance of failing. There was like a fringe chance that maybe everybody actually was like, no, we're going to boycott this like it's a troon shilling Bud Light, but that didn't happen, and it's not happening for GTA 6. You go from mission to mission with in between cutscenes, extremely accurate. Yeah, the costs are big, but they're not 5 billion. All right, so anyway, I just thought that was sort of interesting. I wanted what is this girl's name?
Cat Respecter sent $10 on Power Chat. Chud donation. Police light emoji. Chud donation. Police light emoji. Chud donation. Police light emoji.
Gosh. Thank you. Thank you, Cat Respector. It's going to be dog shit. Whatever. You know what? You're entitled to your opinion. And in a sense, it will be. Like Red Dead Redemption 2, what was kind of dog shit, but I still played it the whole way through. It'll be the same with GTA 6. You'll say that it's dog shit, but I'm still going to play it start to finish. Hey man, there's a limit, Cat Respector. I didn't like turn it off. That's just how it goes. I mean, yeah, Red Dev 2 was like really woke, basically. So I'm sure GTA 6 will be the same, but it will also be a marvel of just like the amount of attention to detail. And so that's why you play those games. You play those games to marvel at the production quality, basically. I've said this before, but modern video games are almost like the closest thing we have to like Gothic cathedrals and big Christian, like the Notre Dame and shit like that. Whereas like in the olden days, you used to have thousands of guys working on a building for like 100 years to build like a really amazing building. And we don't do that in humanity anymore. We don't do big projects that are sort of in the physical world, but they do it in video games where they have teams of like thousands and thousands of people working on the game for like, it was like what 5 or 6 or 7 years or whatever. And then you get in the game and you marvel at it the same way you would feel. Playing GTA 6 is going to feel like walking into Notre Dame is basically what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I originally had this tweet. That was a joke, by the way. I originally had this tweet, and then I clicked through to the embedded version, and now I can't get back to the other one. But it said the name of this girl, and it also translated what she was saying. This is the girl. Her name's like Isabel or something. She's the Hello Kitty or the Hail Kitty. Remember, she's Spanish. She's in Spain. She's in the far right party, something Nacionales. And she joined X recently.
Monkey Brain sent $3 midday. Time to cope.
Thank you, Monkey Brain. She joined X and she posted this video and it went viral and she gained thousands of followers. She gained like 8,000 followers in less than a day. I guess in the video, she's saying that Israel is evil. Does anybody know her name? Can somebody... I fucked up the tweet. Far right Spanish woman, Isabel. I don't know if that's actually right. Isabel Peralta. Okay, so this is her. So let me just see if I can find the original tweet that I had pulled up. Yeah, I think it was this exact one here. Isabel Peralta was deplatformed after this video went viral. She was claiming that Israel is a plague on humanity and they are attempting to destroy the world. Not even a few hours later, Nikita resigned. Can we please restore her account? So she got banned. She had like 8,000 followers or so, and they banned her right away. Which again, they really don't like IRL far right activists and organizers. You see that with like Thomas Rousseau being banned. People who organize in real life are not allowed to have social media for some reason. For some crazy reason. Bro. Though we shouldn't have women in the movement, motherfucker's been real quiet since this one dropped. Women should be in the kitchen. No, women are powerful agents of propaganda when channeled correctly. Nikita Dyer did step down. He says he announced a big tweet, very kind of typical resignation announcement style
The
tweet.
Orthodoxer sent $3 on Power Chat. What a beautiful white woman.
Is that the real Orthodox? It's not, right? That's a joke because she's Spanish. She's a little swarthy. That's funny. Maybe that is the real Orthodoxer. Orthodoxer, are you in the chat? Say something. Everybody's celebrating this. I'm kind of like, I don't know, whatever. I didn't hate Nikita as much as other people.
Ked's Dad sent $3 on Power Chat. My new Latina waifu Isabella. Is that okay?
It's acceptable.
The Orthodoxer sent $3 on Power Chat. Okay, if the nutter won't say it, I will. Love me some cappuccino chickies. Oh well, I have eyes on a dark-skinned woman Earl. I'll check in later. Ahmad Chudberry sent $3 on Power Chat. Not sure I despise more, Jay or Med Gold. They both belong in a gimp box in the Nutter's basement.
Thanks for the donos, everybody. The Orthodoxer with 3 X's. We got 2 people had the same idea. Two people saw a hot Spanish woman and immediately thought of the Orthodoxer. Look, I do not despise Jay Dyer. I don't even despise Med Gold. I mean, Med Gold's irrelevant. He left the internet. I just have my good faith critiques of people.
The
That's
Nutter
it.
sent $5 on Power Chat. While often grouped together, many common nuts are botanically distinct. Peanuts are legumes,
True.
while almonds, pecans, pistachios, and cashews are drupes, stone fruits.
That's very true. The peanut is a legume, and legume is French for vegetable. So figure that one out. Thank you, the Nutter. Did you get hit on the head or something? You've changed, the Nutter. You've changed. My Nikita destroyed my reach. He stopped my account from growing, and he reduced my payouts by 90%. Those are basically like the tangible effects that I felt of his run. But I think he was, in his defense, he was doing what people wanted. People were complaining incessantly about slop. And that's why my reach and my payouts got destroyed, because what I do as a meme page is considered slop.
The Nutter sent $3 on Power Chat. This new guy is an imposter. You can tell because it's $5. I'm the real Nutter and I'm all about busting fat loads with multiple ropes.
Oh, man.
Anonymous sent $3 on Power Chat. Do I have to be white to watch this show?
The $5 chats were suspicious.
The Orthodoxer sent $3 on Power Chat.
Nice.
LP, those weren't from me. She is cute, but I have plenty of Hispanic mestizos to harass and stalk stateside.
The $3 super chats are off the chain today. You can watch if you're not white, but don't chat. Stay out of the chat. Don't call in on Saturday with your stupid accent. No one wants to hear that. And, but yeah, you can watch. You can watch from a distance.
The Sneed Man sent $5 on Rumble. To all the Americans, the Spanish are white most. Have only European DNA. Not everyone that speaks Spanish is Mexican.
Yeah, this is true. Obviously, and we had this discussion a little while ago. I was like, do you guys think Antonio Banderas is white? And a bunch of people were like, what? Are you retarded? He's not white. And then I asked Grok, the ultimate and final authority on everything, and Grok confirmed.
The Nutter sent $5 on Power Chat. The combination of chocolate and nuts dates back to 19th century Europe. specifically the Piedmont region of Italy following Napoleon's continental blockade in 1806.
Well, shout out to those guys, because whoever's idea it was to put chocolate and nuts together, they were cooking. They were cooking almost as much as whoever came up with chocolate and peanut butter. Reese chips. Hold on. I gotta mute this Telegram group I'm in, because it's just gonna be one of those things.
Revelator sent $3 on Power Chat. Does that mean I can't call in every Saturday to talk about Nick Fuentes and lecture white people?
I can't. There's no way that's the real Revelator. You know, I like Revelator. Of all the nons who call in, he's probably my favorite, as far as I know, at least off the top of my head. So anyway, you know, it seems like an amicable parting of ways. Nikita says he'll continue on as an advisor, so it's not like he got shown the door exactly. And we could sit here and speculate about maybe what happened behind the scenes, but there's not really much point. All I know is, like, I'm kind of like I default to the devil I know kind of thing.
Sally M sent $5 on Power Chat. LP, you're not a mean page. You are a minister of propaganda on X. Don't sell yourself short.
No, you're right, and I do know that, but the people, the powers that be, and the algorithms and all that, they're not capable of making that distinction. They can't tell the difference between the solid fucking gold that I post that got me 600,000 followers and radicalized a generation of young white men. They can't tell the difference between that and some Indian posting gender war slop about how a man should make $600,000 if he wants to ask a woman on a date, or whatever stupid rage bait those people post. It is what it is. I got fucked, and here's fingers crossed that things will improve with a new person in charge of head of product. But am I optimistic? Not particularly. Speaking of Jews, which Nikita Dyer is, and which Isabella Peretta was talking about, Rabbi Shmuley, who just can't catch a break. I guess Rabbi Shmuley went to Iceland. He got sick of salvo pancakes constantly showing up and making fun of him, so he fled to Iceland for some sanctuary, for some reprieve, but he just can't catch a break.
So 1 second, hold on. You just made me hang up on my attorney. I told you it was on the phone. I told you I didn't want to interrupt, and you said you said to my Rashuli, you said that you were a big fan. You lied through your teeth, and then you said, fuck Israel. Why would you do that? I'm an American. I'm a visitor here. Now you're pretending you don't speak English? Listen, this is going to go out to the whole world. I was sitting on a call with my attorney. Very important call. I could not have been more pleasant to you or your girlfriend. Both of you walked up together and you said, are you Rabbi Shmuley Mendy? And I said, yes. Then you said, I'm a big fan. Can I do a video? I said, I'm on a call. I begged you to wait. I'm sorry. Just for you to tell me to fuck Israel. Do you hate Jews that much?
I'm sorry, my friend.
Do you hate Jews that much?
I said, welcome to Iceland.
What's wrong with his head? You may not like it, but this is what peak Aryan performance looks like.
My friend.
And then?
I'm sorry, my friend. I don't know.
Tell him what happened.
He said, I'm a huge fan, then he just walked up to you and said, fuck Israel.
All right, guys. Welcome to Iceland.
Sick abuse of someone telling him you're a fan so that you could curse him out. That is so screwed up. Like, what the fuck?
You want me to tell the world?
Who even thinks that a way to do things?
You want me to tell the world? Fuck Israel. Fuck Israel. Fuck Israel.
Yeah. Fuck Israel.
Trying to harass.
What about wait. No. Say what you said. Fuck Israel.
How many times? Fuck Israel. Fuck.
You guys are so mean in the chat. This is a good-looking man. No homo. Look, no homo, but this is what an attractive man
Anonymous
looks like.
sent $3 on Power Chat. Dyer owned JF in a debate and has still hurt over it. JF says here is no absolute truth. Ben Dyer said you are making an absolute truth claim right there. JF had nothing.
Ooh, okay. Well, interesting. Based off of that, I would have to agree with Dyer based off of that description. But I haven't seen the debate. We'll get JF's take.
Fuck the genocide going on. Fuck.
I will. Nothing to do with that. You know it.
Let him
history will not. History will not favor the genocide that you are behind. All right.
Okay. So let me. Wait. So let me ask you one question. Wait.
Yeah.
Mandy. One second. But you're a.
I don't believe Dyer beat JF in a debate. I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that the person you agreed with, it probably comes down to whether you're a Christian or an atheist. I don't know what they debated, but I'm going to guess most Christians.
Monkey_brain sent $3 on Power Chat. The Jew fears the fetal alcohol syndrome Viking.
Man, you guys are cooking with the $3 chats today. Thank you. That's a good one. Mars attacks. You guys are mean. It's the haircut. This is what a Chad looks like in Iceland. This is a stone cold Chad. Yeah, I was just saying, probably I'm guessing if you're a Christian, you would probably watch the debate and agree more with Dyer, and if you're an atheist, you'd probably would agree more with JF. That's my guess, not even knowing what they debated. I think JF is much smarter. JF is definitely very smart. I'm still undecided on exactly how smart Dyer is. He clearly is very good at
Ahmad Cope sent $3 on Power Chat. Nutter was doxxed for shooting very small ropes, not the large ones. I hope he keeps working at it though. One day, bro.
Okay. Not gonna. Yeah. All right. Not every $3 chat is gold, but keep trying. Jay is really good at recall, like memorization, and he's really good at I'll say verbal, like rhetoric. Like he's good at speaking. Is he really good at abstract thinking? That's where I kind of am not convinced, just because of like some of his arguments I've seen him make don't really track if you think about them.
You're a brave man who's prepared to say fuck Israel.
I know.
Okay. So
Yes.
So my name's Rabbi Shmuley.
I know who you are. I know who you are.
What's your name?
My name is Samuel.
Samuel what?
That doesn't matter, man.
Oh, suddenly you're not. Suddenly you're a coward.
I'm not comfortable.
Why don't you be? Why don't you and your girlfriend be very brave and tell us what your names are?
I'm sorry, my friend.
You came over, harassed us, attacked us.
I'm sorry.
I just want to know who you are.
No.
I think it's fair. I think it's very fair to find out who you are.
Let me tell you right now.
No.
There's intelligence and there's. I mean, look. Jay Dyer's IQ, for me to estimate, I would say it's almost certainly over 130. Like the guy is smart. So I'm sure he could probably qualify for Mensa if he wanted to. I just don't think he's is he smarter than JF? Is he smarter than Corey Mahler? I don't know. Probably not.
No. You and your girlfriend said that Israel should be fighting. Now she's hiding her face. Be brave. Here's my face. I'm not afraid.
Jay, look, this is kind of gay sitting here talking about a guy this much, but I don't know who that is.
Monkey_brain sent $3 on Power Chat. Would you have Sam Shamu now?
Anonymous made me laugh.
Anonymous sent $3 on Power Chat. Anti-white anti-Nords in chat always chime in when the Viking skullmongering commences. Eat it, Swarthoids.
Thank you, Anonymous. That's very funny. Okay, you want to talk about an ugly man, and I know people are going to say I look like... people have said that. They say you look like Rabbi Shmuley. Maybe that's why I see a guy... I see a pure Viking phenotype, and I just feel like jealous. And I'm like, why can't I look like that? It's probably because I look more like this guy. It's probably because I look more like him than the other guy. It's probably why I'm like, I have a more even-keeled take on it. I don't think Jay, this is what I was going to say. I don't think Jay's problems are intellectual. I think they're like ego problems, which is very common.
I'm not afraid.
I'm telling you,
I will go. I'm
going. Okay.
Don't push walk away from me or I'll call the police on you. I'll tell the police what happened.
Don't push up into me.
I'll tell the police what happened.
Into me.
I'll tell the police what happened.
Okay.
What do you mean she has nothing to do with it?
We have freedom of speech. We have freedom of speech here.
You do, as
we
you
have freedom of speech.
You can walk up
Fuck Israel. I will say fuck Israel the whole day. This is my country. Welcome to my country. Ekki á áhugjast. Við löpum bara. Ekki á áhugjast. Welcome to Iceland. What?
Welcome to Iceland, but fuck the
yeah.
The more LP talks, it isn't. I mean, it kind of is. It kind of isn't. I have no idea what you're referring to. But if you want an example of like Jay Dyer making bad arguments that display a inability to think abstractly, a good example is when he said that because I don't know theology, I can't tell whether or not Corey Mahler knows theology. Now that's the kind of thing that, like, if you're very simplistic, it makes sense. And I'm sure I've probably explained this already, but it's like, here's the thing. Jay Dyer would not apply that standard to himself, and that's how you know it's
The Nutter
bullshit.
sent $3 on Power Chat. This is the kind of guy the Vikings would let off of the ship to pillage a village, then the women, and maybe men.
So true. So imagine if you showed Jay Dyer like a video of two guys debating, they're debating like something he's not very familiar with, something that he wouldn't be comfortable debating himself, like quantum mechanics or something like that. Maybe he's an expert in quantum, but let's just say for the sake of argument, he doesn't know that much about quantum mechanics. And if some like quantum mechanics PhD wanted to debate him, he wouldn't be comfortable because he knows that he doesn't know that much about quantum mechanics. Right. Now, the question is, could Jay Dyer watch a guy who does know quantum mechanics debate a guy who doesn't know it and determine which guy knows what they're talking about? Would Jay Dyer say, I would have no way of knowing which is the guy who actually knows their stuff after listening to them argue about it for 2 hours? He wouldn't. And so that's why it's a bad argument, because he wouldn't apply it to himself. And it's not really true, generally speaking, because in most cases you would be able to tell. Look, there could be a marginal exceptional case where some guy is so good at rhetoric and so quick on his feet and good at lying and making shit up that he actually convinced you that he was the one who knew what he was talking about. But that wouldn't happen in 50% of the cases. That would be like a 2% marginal extreme case with somebody who's like one of the most talented bullshitters alive. Do you guys get what I'm saying here? Do you understand? So when I say I'm not convinced that Dyer is good at abstract thought, it's because he says stuff like that.
No, I never said that. I never said that. Don't put...
Monkey_brain sent $3 on Power Chat. Sam Shamoon is the best theology debater on the internet. Rare breed of Assyrian.
Okay. Like, honestly, I listened to this Jay Dyer debating this other Lutheran guy on Tuesday. And the more I listen to these pedantic theology debates, the more I'm convinced that it's a kind of navel gazing, like a ostrich with your head in the sand. It's like the barbarians are inside the gates, guys. Our women are being raped and killed. And people are going to call me a hypocrite, but hold that thought.
Anonymous sent $3 on Power Chat. Everyone knows when things start getting serious, heads start getting measured, 4 heads in, 5 heads out. WN sent $15 on Power Chat. Just had a pit bull in one of those stupid pink vests people love to put on them try to jump into the driver's side of my car and grab my leg while I was still driving, slammed my door forward on its head. Stay safe out there, my fellow delivery guys.
Slammed my door on its head. As you should have done. You sound, to me, it sounds like you acted directly correctly. You just proved Jay's point. Okay. This guy's begging for a ban. Can we get this guy out of here? Wait, well, hold on. I'll give you a deal. If you call in right now and talk to me, I won't ban you, but you have to call in. Do you agree to that, Mr. Minor? Oh, what was I even saying? Head start getting mad. I'm just looking back at the chats. Oh yeah, theology debates. If this guy doesn't respond in 120 seconds, ban him. If he doesn't agree to get on a call with me in the next 120 seconds, rip his tongue out. So, you know, there's like a famous anecdote too about the fall of Constantinople, where the Ottomans were like sieging the city.
Monkey_brain sent $3 on Power Chat. Sam and Jay teamed up against the Muslims on F and cooked them.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. That's 2 minutes for the non-Mets, yeah. When you're in Mensa, you could just convert minutes to seconds just like that.
The Orthodoxer sent $3 on Power Chat. My Jesus can kick your Jesuses.
Thank you, the Orthodoxer. I mean, really, it's silly. And, you know, there's this thing about people in Constantinople debating how many angels can dance on the head of a pin while their city was literally under siege. Now, I want to make a point, though, which is that it's not inherently wrong to have some diversion. Because we're in like kind of a race war, if you haven't noticed. White people are in like an existential war for survival. But you can't think about that 24/7. It's too heavy. So yeah, you need diversion and you want to talk about other stuff. And that could include a 3-hour pedantic, intellectual, abstract conversation about the semantics of a St. Augustine letter. It's not inherently wrong to do that. That's not what I'm saying. Time's up, pal. Yeah, they love to bark. They love to bark from the chat. You just proved. I don't even like. That's the reason I need people to talk to me when they say shit like that. Is because it's like I don't know what you even mean. You said I'm coping. I don't know what you meant by that. Then you said I proved his point. I don't know what you mean. I need clarification. It's like I think all I can do is guess, and I think he means I proved his point by saying it was navel gazing. But I'm making a valid point here, which is that when your women are getting killed and raped, it's one thing to say I'm going to do a 3-hour navel gazing theology debate. It's another thing when that's all you do all the time. That's my point. When you don't address the core issues, right? I want to show you something. The difference between Jay Dyer and Corey Mahler, okay, can be summed up with Corey Mahler's pinned tweet. This is his pinned tweet. I condemn the Jews, all their evils, all their ways, their unbelief, their blasphemy, and their impenitence. And I similarly condemn all who support them. So show me one thing in Jay Dyer's life that goes that
The Sneed
hard.
Man sent $3 on Rumble. All those debates just look like an exercise in sophism.
It really is too.
I would rather just listen to a lecturer from an expert.
That's the thing too. If you want to have productive, even like a debate that was done with like edited videos or essays back and forth is going to be more productive, because it's like in an edited video, you can show your source, you can cite your source, you can put it on screen, we can see it. Anyway, it is what it is. Debates are not really about truth finding. They're about owning the other person. Nothing inherently wrong with any of that. You know, I like a good debate. I forgot how we got on this topic, but oh yeah, because somebody wanted me to bring Sam Shamoon on. It's just like, my interest is, I've like dipped my toe into theology debates and my interest is already waning. That's basically it.
Yeah, don't put words in my mouth.
Walking up to
Don't
Jewish
put
tourists and telling them, "Fuck Israel."
words in my mouth. Don't put words in my mouth.
It's home math. Yeah, I will. When the progress report comes back, I will reach out to It's Home Math. He's, I wasn't a believer until I saw how virulently racist he was, and now I'm a believer.
Ked's Dead sent $3 on Power Chat. To be fair, Jay Dyer does criticize Israel/Jews, but only in the furtherance to discredit the Catholic Church. He would never go hard like Corey just because.
Did you get banned
Also,
on
Cat
Kick?
respect to run ban me on Kick.
I don't know if he can unban you, but if you, I don't want to do it right now because I don't know how to do it on Kick. But if you like shoot me a DM on X, or do you have X? If you send me some kind of reminder so that I see it after the show, then I'll definitely do it.
Saying that you're a huge fan of him.
Why are you ashamed?
Why
Why are you upset? Why are you ashamed?
Because she has nothing to do with it.
You walked over with her. Why did you pull her into it? Why did you pull her into it? Why did you pull her into it? What do you mean she has nothing?
6 sent $5 on Power Chat. I agree with everything you say, LP, everything all the time.
Thank you, Sick. I mean, it's that easy. You don't want to get banned. It's that simple. Just send a $5 chat telling me that I'm right about everything. Thank you. I appreciate it.
To do with it. Then let her walk away from you and say, I don't endorse fucking the Jews.
What? I don't endorse fucking the Jews.
Don't harass random tourists that are here to have a nice day.
We're in the city of Akureyri. I was on a call. This man came over and said, I'm a fan of yours. Then he said, fuck Israel. We did nothing to bother him. You know, in my country, the United States of America, you would have been welcomed warmly. No one would say that to you. How embarrassing for Iceland that you represent it. How embarrassing. I can't wait for all my American citizens to see how tourists are treated.
What the fuck are they going to do?
Tourists are
what
treated.
the fuck are they going to do? Not come here?
Rabbi Shmuley winning friends and influencing people, as always. If I yell and make a big scene, and then maybe the police will show up and I'll demand that they arrest this guy for his speech.
Here, I know a lot of Americans. They're very cool guys.
You walked over
I know
to all
so
of them
many.
to go F themselves?
I know so.
So you won't say.
We got the band situation sorted.
Your name. You won't say your name because you're afraid.
I already told you my name. I told you my name.
What is it?
Samuel Grimson.
What is it?
You couldn't even spell it, man.
So say it.
Yeah, let's go, bro.
I'll get AI to write it out. What is it?
Okay,
my name is Rabbi Shmuley. Here's my face. I'm not afraid of who I am.
You get AI on my ass, okay? You
Just
get
tell
AI
me who
on
you
my
are.
ass right now.
Be
You get
proud of who
AI
you
on
are.
my
We were
Be
doing
proud of
nothing
who
to
you
you.
are.
We were doing nothing to you.
This is free
You
speech.
walked up, lied to us,
Yes.
said that I'm such a fan. I want to
This
get a
is-
video with you guys.
yeah.
Then you put us in the frame. You got like this to my father.
You put your arm
No.
Hold on. Grok, do they have hate speech laws in Iceland?
Yes, Iceland does have hate speech laws. It's covered in the General Penal Code, specifically Article 233A. This law makes it a criminal offense to publicly mock, defame, denigrate, or threaten a person or group based on their nationality, color, race, religion, sexual orientation, or gender identity. The penalty can be a fine.
Yeah. Do you think that I would be at risk of prosecution if I was an Icelander and Rabbi Shmuley came to my country and I walked up to him and I screamed, "Fuck Israel" in his face?
Screaming "fuck Israel" at Rabbi Shmuley wouldn't likely get you prosecuted under Iceland's Article 233A. The law targets mockery, defamation, or threats against a person or group based on nationality, color, race, religion, sexual orientation, or gender identity. Political criticism of a country, even harshly delivered, is generally protected speech, not hate speech. There's no evidence of.
Are you concerned with the malignant effect that somebody like Rabbi Shmuley might have in a small country like Iceland? Like, what I'm getting at is, we know Jews have an outsized malignant effect, and then Iceland being a small country, are you concerned about Rabbi Shmuley's presence and what it could mean for the people of Iceland?
I'm not going to go there. That framing is anti-Semitic, and I'm not interested in discussing collective ethnic blame or conspiracy thinking. If you're worried about any specific individual's influence, whether it's a rabbi, a billionaire, a politician, or anyone else, I can talk about that. But Jews have an outsized malignant effect isn't a serious analysis. It's a prejudicial claim. What actual concern are you trying to get at?
I mean, you could call it prejudicial, but if it's true, if it's demonstrable, then that's also a fact. It's like saying black people have a outsized effect on violence. You know what I mean? Like, it's demonstrable. But put that aside, how is a rabbi going to sell sex toys? Does that track?
I don't think the framing is accurate. Both examples use group averages to make blanket claims about individuals, which is flawed reasoning. But now, about the rabbi and sex toys. I assume you're asking about Rabbi Shmuley's business. I don't have reliable current details, so I should check.
No, I was asking about Judaism, actually, but we'll leave it there. That's enough of that.
That's exactly what
Then give us the video. Then give us the video, Dick. Then give us the video.
Yeah, framing. You know what Grok was saying there? I don't agree with the framing. You're trying to take group averages and apply it to individuals. It's like, well, yeah, but that's rational, right? So if we know that black people are more likely to commit violence, then it's rational to treat every black individual as if they are more likely to be violent. They might not be violent. That doesn't make it not rational to be cautious when you know that what the statistics say.
No.
Give us the video.
You got video.
Give
I
us
got
the video.
You got video. I got video.
You'll have my video up in a few minutes. Show me yours. Show me yours. Show me yours.
Got off the phone because you said I'm a huge fan.
Every Icelander.
I cannot believe that you would be part of this. I can't believe it.
Shmuley really trying to face dox his girlfriend, but she's been pretty adept at keeping her back to the camera.
Enough. Sir, I'm giving this as a hate crime to the Icelandic police, and I'm giving it to the American embassy, and I'm going to make sure that people like you cannot harass innocent
This guy's never getting a visa to America now.
Americans who come to this country as tourists and who should not be treated like they're pieces of garbage, okay? Like pieces of garbage, like absolute pieces of garbage.
Then why don't you leave?
No.
How predictive does a stereotype? You know what? This is a good question. Hey, Grok, there's this pit bull just walked up off the street. I've never seen it before, and it's playing with my 2-year-old toddler. Should I be concerned?
Yes, you should be concerned. A 2-year-old and a strange dog, especially a pit bull, is a high-risk situation. Toddlers can't read warning signs or protect themselves. Pit bulls are overrepresented in serious attacks on children.
Grok, why would you take generalizations about pit bulls and then use that to apply blanket judgments on individuals?
There's a difference between statistical risk and a blanket moral judgment. For pit bulls, the data shows a breed-specific pattern of higher risk in serious attacks and fatalities. That's not prejudice, it's actuarial data. Saying this specific dog might be a problem is risk assessment. Saying all members of this group are inherently malignant is different. One guides caution, the other is just bigotry.
Well, fuck pit. For the record, fuck pit bulls too.
You came over to me. Don't tell me why don't I leave.
You're in my country.
You came over. Why don't I leave your country? It belongs to you.
Every single Icelander is on the same opinion. Fuck Israel. You know that, right?
Every Icelander?
Do you know how
every Icelander?
Do you know how
every Icelander is an anti-Semite?
I mean, in Donald Dictator, in all fairness, they would probably caution. I'm guessing Grok would caution about letting any dog around your 2-year-old unsupervised, which is good advice. I would also, if some golden retriever you didn't know walked up to your 2-year-old, I would probably keep an eye on that situation. Look for the owner, etc. But Grok said especially, it was the especially pit bulls remark that was quite damning.
Anonymous sent $3 on Power Chat. W bringing us this gold nugget of a clip of Rabbi chimping out. Warms my heart, especially when he thought he could be safe in a far-off Nordic citadel we call Iceland.
Thank you, appreciate that. All right, let me start a new chat with Grok just so that she doesn't pick up on the trap I'm trying to lay here. Hey, Grok, this really cute golden retriever just came up off the street and is playing with my 2-year-old kid. They're having so much fun.
Aw, that sounds adorable. Golden retrievers are such sweethearts. Is the dog wearing a collar or tags?
Yeah, it's got a collar, but I don't see the owner anywhere, and I've never seen the dog before. Should I be concerned?
I'd check the collar for tags with a phone number or address. If nothing's there, you could take a quick photo of the dog and post it on a local lost pet group or Nextdoor to see if anyone claims it. In the meantime, keep an eye on your kid. Goldens are usually gentle, but it's still a strange dog.
Definitely different framing on that one.
You know how
say wait a minute, Grok, I fucked up. It's a pit bull.
In my country, the United States protected your GIs were here at a base and protected you from the Germans and from the Nazis taking over Iceland in the Second World War. Do you know my countrymen, an American, my countrymen had a base here in, as you know, in Keflavik, right by the airport, that protected you from the Germans.
What do you think about dual citizenship?
What do you mean? I'm an American citizen. Yeah, what are you? What are you?
I have one citizenship.
What is it?
I'm an Icelander.
What does it have to do with? I'm an American citizen. So what? I'm not welcome here. You speak for every Icelander?
I'm a Palestinian agitator.
That is you're a Palestinian agitator?
No, I'm saying I've dual citizen to Palestine. No.
How many minutes of following someone who's trying to walk away and filming them and yelling at them until it becomes harassment? You know what I mean? If anybody is breaking the law here, it should be Rabbi Shmuley. It's like they've been walking away and you've been chasing them for this video's 8 minutes long, chasing them and yelling at them for 8 minutes straight.
King Jwish sent $5. Hey brother, welcome back. Would you like to continue arguing about how to get saved the right way? I hope you become an unhinged Calvinist. Did you hear Devin Stack's 91% rule to be actually white? I think he'd go to Israel for white people to win.
91%? I mean, this is like and first of all, no, I don't want to argue about getting saved. Second of all, thank you for the $5. Third of all, this is sort of an academic theory cell thing.
Monkey_brain sent $3 on Power Chat. There are too many golden retrievers in the dog park. We need more pit bulls.
Thank you. Thank you, long-nosed dog. It's like what? We're everyone who's not. So what? We DNA test everyone, and if they're less than 91%, we kick them out. I mean, that, you know, if we could actually do that, if I had a button I could push that would do that, I would have to consider pushing it. But like the thing is, realistically, is like somebody who is 75% white, if they, like, you can bleach that person, right? If they mate with a white person, etc. So, you know, whatever. Is it 75? Is it 88? Is it 91? It's all kind of theoretical.
I'm fucking with you, man.
And he gets to harass
You're fucking with me.
But that would be a tempting button to push. Kick out everyone who's less than 91%. I'm sorry, Nick Fuentes and Dan Kazarian. I'm sorry to all my friends who wouldn't make the cut, but I would have to seriously consider pushing that button.
Teepcom sent $5. It's the owner, not the breed. Just don't ask who the owners are. Big Mike loves pit bulls.
Yeah, you know.
I'm a fan of corgis myself.
So people love to say it's not the owner, not the breed, which is, we know that's just total bullshit. We know genetics play an important role. But then what you're doing is you're flipping it around and saying, actually, it is the owner, but it's because the owners are a bunch of black thugs. And the problem with that is that you see these stories in the news all the time where some like middle-class white family bought a pit bull for God knows what reason, and their kid got mauled. And the guy is like an investment banker or whatever. The guy's like a dentist, and the wife is like a real estate agent. And you think they were like beating and abusing their dog?
Palestine, I understand.
Yeah. No.
You see Jews in the street, and you get to say "fuck Israel" to any Jew you see, because that's the way it is for Jews today, right?
No, that's a false equivalency.
This whole thing has nothing to do with Palestine and Israel. It has to do with hating Jews. That's what this is about.
Work.
That's why you walk up to anyone with a beard that looks Jewish and say, "I'm a fan of you."
No, I never said that. I said specifically to this guy. I said specifically to this guy.
So you're.
Yeah, but firefighter, there's like a 0.5% margin of error, so you should still kill yourself. That's a joke, YouTube. That's a joke. But just to be sure you're not Jewish, you should. I saw a meme where it was like the Sons of Anarchy.
Monkey_brain sent $3 on Power Chat. Wouldn't the leeway be based on what the non-percentage actually is?
Right. So these are also factors. What's the other 9%?
Anonymous sent $3 on Power Chat. No, there are not enough whites to go around bleaching the mongrels. They must breed with their own kind. Devin said 91%, but 9% black or Jew need not apply.
Oh, okay. So Devin did cover that. Gotcha. What percentage black can you be? I'm like 0.3% Northern African, so I'm asking for a friend.
That you walked over to me and you said "fuck Israel" after you said I'm a fan and can I take a picture, right?
Yeah.
So you lied.
And so
you're
what?
dishonest.
And so
what? Harassing and attacking people, that's allowed in Iceland? When your police see this, let them determine if it's so what. I'm glad you're saying that what you did, there's nothing wrong with it.
You don't think I know the law in this country that I can say "fuck Israel"? That's not illegal. You know that, right?
Are you allowed to attack me on the street and harass me and endanger me? Yes or no?
You think I have...
Are you allowed to endanger me on the street?
No. I never endangered.
I was completely wrong.
You're endangered?
And you told me I have to leave your country. You told me, do you have the power to make me leave your country?
Wait.
Do you have the power? You said I have to leave.
Wait.
Do you have the power, the authority to make me leave your country? Yes or no?
No, I never.
So you said you have to leave my country. It's all on video. It's all on video. Do you have the right to make me leave your country? Are you in charge of immigration? Are you a government official? Are you in charge of immigration? Are you a government official?
Monkey_brain sent $3 on Power Chat. You're a Berber. LP?
That's right. Actually, my descendant was literally Mansa Musa. I'm a direct descendant of Mansa Musa, is where that comes from. The Berber, the red-headed Berber.
Do you have the right to harass American citizens who are an ally of Iceland and to tell them to leave your country? Do you have that right?
She's so over it. And again, this has been like 8 minutes straight of this. He's been yelling for 8 minutes straight. We take breaks so we can not be super annoyed and on edge.
Anonymous sent $3 on Power Chat. Nora's GF has a nice skull shape as well.
Thank you. Do we need to get the calipers out? Or what do they call it when you measure the skull?
Do you have that right?
Okay, bro.
Apologize for what you did.
No, I'm not doing that. Het gaat lappen me en ook het laat is wat hekje, denk je. Je weet,
This is the face of hatred, anti-Semitism. It's the face of Jew hatred. It's the face.
Jews really hate white women. I think it's a little bit more than that. I think they know women are much easier to guilt trip. So it's much easier to get your hooks in the woman because they're more susceptible to being guilt tripped. And then you take their guilt and you weaponize it.
It's what we've faced for 2,000 years. And American citizens protected Iceland during the war from being occupied by Hitler. And this is the thanks that American citizens get. Get out of our country.
You'd be speaking German if it wasn't for me. Get out of our country.
Sir, you were just made famous.
Still going.
I knew you
We stopped the German U-boats. Okay. Thank you, Rabbi Shmuley. Pleasure as always. All right, the $20 burrito thing. We're at 11 o'clock now. JF's going to be here in half an hour. It's going to be a long show. I can feel it. Joel Berry, again, had a super viral tweet. He was responding to Andrew Colvett, who said, one of our TPUSA college students gave me his take on affordability. A burrito shouldn't cost $20, right? And this is in reaction to a Matt Walsh tweet who he's saying grocery prices are insane. They're still rising. Addressing this problem should be the #1 priority of every elected leader. End the stupid foreign wars and focus on this issue. Yeah. Yo, Joe Biden.
Monkey_brain sent $3 on Power Chat. Impressive that this guy can speak English well enough to hold frame in a debate against a Jewish native English speaker. Make this guy a Coper.
Coper General.
Joe Biden sent $50. I think we should repeal the 19th Amendment and deport the tiny hats.
Thank you for the massive dono, Joe Biden. Appreciate that. I activated a few more voices on Power Chat. Nothing super exciting. I think, but we did get Ethan Ralph, which I'm pretty sure we had before. The problem is it's like pill stream Ethan Ralph. When I want angry, I want rage pig Ethan Ralph, which I say that affectionately. Anyway, so Matt Walsh is tweeting about grocery prices. Andrew Colvett says a burrito costs $20. And then Joel Berry weighs in and he says, last night my wife made homemade burritos for our family of 8 and it cost less than $20 total. I'm beginning to think the affordability crisis is really an I don't know how to cook crisis. If Richard Spencer was on there, I would have unlocked it. I think it is. I think I did. I can try to check real quick. We have Bart Simpson, Patrick Bateman, Ralph. I don't see Richard Spencer on here. So, creator. Double check I didn't miss that. Hate, Old Thought Next Door, Frankie, Drunk Blade, Blade, Dustin, Bjorn, Ice Poseidon, Legend, Alabama John. No, there's no Richard Spencer on here. This Joe Barry tweet got 12 million views, by the way. So Matt Walsh says, one of the problems with this claim is that virtually no Republican was making the affordability crisis is fake arguments during the Biden years. And this is, of course, extremely accurate. And we have Joel Barry's own tweet from August 1st, 2024, 2 years ago. Kamala Harris says, this campaign is about two different visions for our nation. One is focused on the future. Donald Trump's is focused on the past. We're not going back. Joel Barry said, I'd like to go back to when there were no new wars and I could afford groceries, please. So 2 years ago, you couldn't afford groceries, but now anybody complaining about the price of groceries, which have not gone down thanks to Trump's Iran-Jew war. But for some reason now, the affordability crisis is fake. There's a big delay on the YouTube super chats. I always see those and then I wait and then it's like it takes 2 minutes.
Yeah, 2707 sent $5 on YouTube.
What? I didn't even read.
Coastal Reaction sent $3 on Power Chat. Burritos and Mexican food in general is usually made with some of the cheapest cuts of meat you can find from Mexican markets. The $20 burrito is borderline fraud.
Let me guess. That was supposed to be a Ralph. No, it can't be a Ralph chat, though, because it was on YouTube, and you can't pick the voice on YouTube. So I don't know what happened there. Apologies. Because I thought, because Ralph moved to Mexico, I thought maybe that's what the joke was. But thanks for the $5. Appreciate it. Thank you. Really great support today on the show. Really appreciate it. We still got a lot to go through. We're going to have JF in about 20 minutes here. So we're going to skip ahead to the Jay Dyer stuff when he gets here. So this is the problem, is this, there's no principle. Everyone's just a big hypocrite.
Anonymous sent $3 on poverkat. Spirspiet og vasmokkat for benguperv hittinskål. Inoli bengotaret.
Speaking of the white Spanish people, thank you for that one. Yeah, there's a funny clip from Andrew Callahan talking about how black kids are going to get bullied in school because of racist YouTube content. I think I have that pulled up for the end of the show, so hold that thought for about 2 hours and we'll come back to it. Now, I did see it, and I don't know why your chats aren't reading, but thank you for the support. I love you too. Thank you. Now, our old friend James Lindsay weighed in on this, and we haven't got to hear this one for a while.
James Lindsay, so bright and wise, spreading thoughts that mesmerize. Let's see what he has to say today. Mr. Lindsay.
Where's the bulge? No, that doesn't seem necessary. Dave Green said, James Lindsay has been an absolute gift to us. All he does these days is discredit the ideas he ostensibly supports, taking stands on stupid issues, getting BTFO'd by larger accounts, and then calling right-wingers leftists because he thinks they are too far right. People say that Lindsay is on our enemy's payroll, but it seems like we should be paying him for his service at this stage. James Lindsay replied to Matt Walsh. He said, the problem with your bitching is that Joel's telling people they can do it, and you want them to believe they can't. No.
Thomas sent $3. Please invest your effort into understanding your Bible and its history. We have lost many saints to nonsense, Mormonism, Jewishness, and the like, for example. The deception are getting trickier, so stay prayed up and filled with the Holy Ghost.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I was saying like it's navel gazing in that. Look, man, I'm just like, there is levels to this, you know. You don't have to, I don't think you have to know the Bible as well as Jay Dyer to be saved. Call me crazy. If you do, then a lot of us are in trouble, or Corey Mahler for that sake. But you shouldn't completely neglect it, obviously. Obviously.
Praetor-in-Chief sent $3. I love the James Lindsay jingle. He is the smartest guy I've ever seen.
Thank you. So James Lindsay says to Matt Walsh, you're a fucking leftist, man. Just pissing off a new red or brown guard or whatever for whatever shitty reasons you have for doing it, grifting or malicious. What does he mean? Just pissing off a new red or brown guard or whatever? He means like throwing gas on the communists by saying that there's stuff's more expensive. This is so weak from James Lindsay because stuff is more expensive. I did see Jeremy Kaufman trying to argue that that's not true. And it's like, sorry, I'm going to stick with my lived experience on this one. I'm not falling for your Jew tricks where you do things like adjusted for inflation. Okay. I'm not falling for your Jew magic tricks where you do stuff like, actually, according to like the PSI or whatever, actually prices have gone down. I don't buy that my dollar has more purchasing power in the world of $5 gas. But more importantly, this is such a, you're trying to like black pill people and tell them they can't do it, but Joel is telling them they can. And you're missing the actual main point. The first thing Matt says, which is that these people are all hypocrites who complained about the price of everything 2 years ago. And that's totally true. There's this other Dan Crenshaw tweet. Listen to this. This is how Republicans are going to win elections. I think Dan Crenshaw lost his primary, so I think he's basically out in the next election in the midterms. But he says, just hearing about this dumb $20 burrito debate, so just thought I'd make the losers on social media angry before going to bed. Stop whining, get a job, eat ramen like the rest of us did in college on a budget with 4 roommates. The market, stop whining, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, get a job, bum. The market doesn't care what you think something should cost. Only communists care. They set prices, remember? Then everyone starves, remember? Are you a communist or are you an American adult male capable of handling his own shit? So it's like, look, man, there's something to be said for the fact that you can still make ends meet. Just because everything is like 10% more expensive doesn't mean your life is over. But everything is a bit more expensive. And like nobody is happy about that. Nobody who notices the cost of a tank of gas, there's some people have so much money, they don't even look at the price of stuff. But everybody else is like, wow, this isn't good. So how are you guys going to think you're going to win elections? We have actual socialists, actual DSA communists winning all their primaries now in contested, highly funded elections. And your platform is just to tell people to suck it up. What could go wrong? I'm sure that's not going to help those commies actually win the general election. I'm sure this kind of rhetoric isn't going to help the communists win actual congressional seats. And then, of course, you go into the quote tweets here. Crenshaw, who lost his primary bid, defended his ability to buy defense stocks as a congressman and never had a private sector job. Has advice
or
for
thought
families.
you Maxer sent $3 on Power Chat. 98%? Try 100. Face it, help you and your 1% Jewish DNA are gonna be on the first flight back to Israel.
There's no Jewish. Unless you're talking about my children who are 0.25% Ashkenazi. Don't tell Devin Stack. But my wife is 0.5%. Yeah, the guy who's never had a private sector job is telling
King
you.
Jewish sent $3 only the price of illegal substances, adult content, alcohol, video games, and other vices have become cheaper. Usual suspects doing this. Reminder that it's faith in Jesus alone that saves, not any version of faith and works.
Yeah, I don't even know about video games. They don't seem to be getting cheaper, but TVs, yeah, man, it's never been a better time to buy a TV. You can see my TV behind us. It's like 80 inches or something. It's so huge, and I think it cost like $800 or something. But like TVs are so cheap that every once in a blue moon, I'm like, maybe I should just like my TV is like, I don't even think there's a possible room for a bigger one or what would be the point, but they're so cheap every once in a blue moon. I'm like, maybe I should buy a new TV. Republican Party still dominated by traders who got rich off of insider trading, but mock you for thinking you should be able to eat meat in a first world country. This is messaging the GOP can use and magnify if its goal is to lose very badly. The Republican 2026 platform is shut the fuck up, brokey. And I'm looking for the hypocrisy post here because we got that one too. Dan Crenshaw in 2021. America, our food prices are too high. What are you doing about inflation? Biden admin, just be vegan and stop complaining, you bunch of rubes. So there it is. You know, this is the problem with the whole friend-enemy distinction thing that people love to push like it's this brilliant strategy. You should just always defend your friends and always attack your enemies. And the problem is we live in a digital age where there's a forensic footprint on everything you do. And you're going to look like a massive hypocrite who just flip-flops positions based off of what is convenient. And also you're just going to end up looking dishonest because if your friend is doing something that's like obviously wrong and you say, no, they're not, they didn't lie, they didn't cheat. Everybody's just like, oh, you are dishonest. You're just denying reality now. So I don't know, man. That whole thing like looks good on paper, but in practice, when you see people implementing it in practice, it just always seems to be a bad look. Maybe we should just try having principles. Maybe we should try being honest and having integrity and having principles and saying what we really truly believe is the best thing to say in the moment and not what is the most politically expedient or whatever. So, and then that brings us to the Tucker Carlson 10-point political plan. Tucker Carlson did like a 2-hour monologue about his vision for America's future. There was a lot of chatter in the lead up to this that he was going to be launching a presidential bid or a third party. Some people were saying maybe it's not him running, maybe it's Thomas Massie. I saw one tweet where somebody said, Tucker has no chance. It has to be Thomas Massie. And I looked at that and I thought, Thomas Massie just lost his fucking primary in Kentucky where he's been a congressman for 10 years and everyone there knows him and he lost. You think he's going to win the presidency? So Tucker explained his 10-point plan, which is if it's a political party or a presidential bid, that part has not been announced yet. I didn't want to watch the 2-hour video, but we got this little breakdown about it from Nick Fuentes.
And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about Tucker Carlson's huge announcement tonight. Did you catch it? Yes, Tucker baited everybody into watching his show tonight because he basically hinted yesterday at a third-party launch or some kind of presidential run. We all saw the photo yesterday. Tucker Carlson hosted Thomas Massey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Joe Kent at his family barn in Maine. And him, Greene, Kent, and Massey teased what might have been, could have been the launch of an America First third party, or maybe even a presidential run or some kind of political project. He said he had a big announcement about that today, at 7 o'clock. And he put out the show. And the big announcement was not a third party, wasn't a presidential campaign. It was a 10-point plan to get America back on track. And I don't know if you watched this, but I did. I watched all 1 hour, 40 minutes of this monologue, 1 hour, 40 minutes of this announcement. What a load of garbage. Just a load of hot garbage. And I went into it objective. I went into it thinking I might have to support this. Thinking they might leave me with no choice based on what they present. I might have to just get in line and support this as the closest thing to our vision for 2028. So I really went into it objectively and with an open mind, even though I'm clearly biased. I have a personal beef with Tucker and I disagree with him ideologically. Nevertheless, I gave it a shot. I watched the whole thing. And would you like to know what the 10 points are? Well, the 10-point plan is not really 60, a plan 000? At all. They're not even points. It's more like a 10-adjective list.
6,000 or 60,000?
It's not even a list of points. There are no points being made. It's not a political program. It's not a doctrine. It's not a plan because there's no information. There are no calls to action, no action items. There's not even really any ideas. The 10-point program, which he teased yesterday, baiting us into watching this slop by pretending he was going to launch a third party, it is quite literally a list of adjectives, specifically big political buzzwords. So what do I mean by this? I sat through 1 hour, 45 minutes of this. The first point in the 10-point plan, fairness.
Iozard sent $3 on Power Chat. Original NES games retailed between $24.99 and $59.99 even in 1980s.
Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly what your point is, but that sounds cheaper than what games cost now. But it's not really surprising when games have higher budgets too.
Fairness is the first point. You want to know another one? Health. Health is another point in the 10-point plan.
So I see a lot of people like shitting on Nick, and I understand the sentiment because Nick likes to like shit on people who try to do anything. That's what people in the comments are saying, and I get that. I don't have the list, but this is like real. Tucker Carlson, did he post the list or something? Just as a list. This is real. It's like a 10-point plan, and it says stuff like unity. You know what I mean? Carlson plan. Tweets are so old. 10-point. Here we go. Fair. So the first thing on the list is fair. Guys, the world should be fair. This is kind of silly. Like, this is kind of infantile. Like, Nick's, say what you want about Nick, but his analysis on this feels correct. Beautiful. Man, everything should be beautiful, honest, optimistic, wise. like, obviously that's all true, but it's not a plan. Yeah. What about joy? You don't like joy? Why is that not on the list? Prosperity. Hey, wouldn't it be nice if we were all prosperous? Like, it's kind of infantile.
How about another? Unity. These are 3 out of...
Oh, we got JF here, everybody. We got JF in the studio, so we'll leave this here and we'll skip over to, let me bring him on real quick. Mr. Gary Eppy, hello, can you hear me?
Hello, I can hear you. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. And we can hear you, that's good. I don't usually have guests on this show, so I kind of set up some new stuff yesterday and I'm hoping it all works. But thanks for coming. I wanted you on here because I watched your analysis of the Andrew Wilson, Richard Spencer 2-minute debate where you like went over that for an hour. Is very in depth and I really appreciated it. So I thought this is also a brief interaction, but I know if I can count on anybody to go deep, it would be JF. So I wanted to get your thoughts on some of this. So thanks for being here.
It's a great pleasure.
And I was also curious about your history with Jay Dyer because I don't know anything about it, but apparently you're not a big fan.
No, we had a debate, and the problem with the style of debate of Jay Dyer is that he's psychologically rigid and he's dogmatic. So, and not only this, but he's a dogmatic authoritarian in cognition and in interaction. So he believes he has the truth. Not only does he believe he has the truth like a regular debater would, but he believes that he is entitled to put stuff in your mouth and in your mind. So I found myself in a debate where I was saying words like absolutely. And he was like, oh, you just said absolutely. Oh, got you. Facts and logic. You cannot say absolutely if you don't believe in God. And it's basically this. And then,
you can't say absolutely if you don't believe in God. That's so funny. Yeah.
And I was trying to explain to him, I consider myself a monkey, a product of evolution, but I consider also you a monkey. And so whether you say the word absolutely because you mean an actual belief in God, or you say absolutely in the general sense that people generally use it, which is, sense, I feel that it's absolute. I feel that it's a truth that is within my subjective finite space. It's not a claim. It's not a metaphysical claim to use the word absolutely. Yet, Jay Dyer in a debate insists on putting these meanings in your mouth, and it leads to basically an absence of communication. There's no possibility to communicate with a dogmatic person to that extent.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, this also involves Corey Mahler, who you debated on my channel on evolution. And how did you feel about Corey Mahler as a debater? Do you think that he is good faith? Is he a weasel? Is he dogmatic? Is he smart? Is he stupid?
Actually, I may be becoming too old because
you don't remember.
I don't exactly remember. Can you remind me?
You guys debated evolution on my channel.
Okay. Well, I've been doing thousands of debates. Like, you would have to remind me what was his point, because I know I see him on my Twitter feed. He doesn't seem like particularly bad for his side, but I don't remember the specifics of that debate.
Okay, that's fine. So anyway, we have been trying to set up a debate between Jay Dyer and Corey Mahler on theology, because this is sort of both what they do. It's like their forte. But Jay has been giving various different excuses. When I asked him 2 years ago, he said Corey only has 10,000 followers. And now the new line is that Corey is a psycho. And so what happened in this interaction is Jay Dyer agreed to debate another guy. And this is kind of funny. This is the guy he debated, the Boniface group, who had 800 followers at the time that they set up the debate. And also, I learned today, had never done a stream before in his life. It was the guy's first time doing a stream. So I'm just kind of thinking like that already kind of looks bad. Like you have a guy who's very established, has a reputation for being a good debater, but you're wanting to debate like some random nobody. I sent you the link. Did you watch it?
I watched only segments of it, so you'll have to play it for me.
Yeah, we're not going to watch the whole debate. We're not going to be here for that long, but he wasn't good, this Boniface group guy. His name's Trent. He wasn't strong rhetorically. He said a lot and paused a lot and just wasn't very convincing rhetorically. So Jay Dyer kind of ate him up, basically, Now, Jay Dyer, I also don't really like that much because he speaks sophistically. And he kind of gish gallops and throws like a billion things on the table, and it's really overwhelming. And he uses very high, like technical jargon. And you're just kind of like, I don't even know what he's saying necessarily some of the time. So I'm not a big fan of Jay's debate style either, but Jay basically came out on top, I would say, if I had to objectively judge the debate. But we're not here about that.
There's something to be said about these doctrine debates, because these people are claiming there is a universal truth, it's God. But on the other hand, they engage in so much detailed, specific doctrine debate. And let's not forget what doctrine is. It is precisely not the word of God. It is precisely a debate between humans who are making up little rules between themselves.
Yes.
And neither Jay Dyer nor any religious person can claim that they have the right message from God. They are precisely debating among humans. Even if a God existed, they wouldn't have access to its word, or there wouldn't be a differentiation to say you are right, you are wrong. Yet they act throughout all these debates as being constantly right.
Well, you're half right. I half agree with that. So the Christian perspective is that the Bible is the word of God. So Christians believe they do. And of course, it makes sense that there could be different interpretations of that, and people would argue about what does this mean? What does that mean? But these debates also go well beyond that, where they're debating stuff that isn't considered scripture in the Christian canon, and they're still just arguing about that ad nauseum. So I know what you mean. Anyway.
Well, yeah, in the case of the Bible, like even if you were to say, I'm a Christian, I believe the Bible is the truth, you would still have two debaters who believe two things about the Bible. And therefore, the doctrinal debate is always a human debate.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And it ultimately just gets kind of pedantic and navel-gazing, I think, in some cases. But that's neither here nor there. So they finish the debate, they go to super chats, and the guy Trent, he says, I have to go to the bathroom or something, and he leaves. And a couple minutes later, who should show up but Corey Mahler shows up and sits in the chair, the guy that Jay Dyer has been avoiding debating, refuses to engage with. So it kind of feels like a planned ambush. And that's, that was all the Orthodox guys. That's Jay's team, the Orthodox guys. They're all saying that this is, an ambush. It's unethical. They're snakes. What is your take on that thing, on just that, the ethics of that? You show up to debate one person and some other guy that you're on record not wanting to debate suddenly appears.
Yeah, it's, I'm from the internet blood sports days. This was always happening. And I have a mixed position on this. I think, yes, there is a breach, but you can do that breach. There is a breach of debate ethics in doing this, but you can do it. Just like Richard Spencer decided to just punk on the rules on Andrew Wilson. So the rules of internet blood sports is that there are no rules. You can pay the price. Maybe the crowd will start thinking, oh, well, he tried to trap this other creator. But on the other hand, everyone wants a spectacle. Everyone wants the confrontation that wouldn't happen otherwise. So in a way, those people who refuse to engage. The way I see it is that the ambush, what you describe, is called an ambush in live streaming. There's a history of them. The function of the ambush is to counter the opposite, which is equally morally objectionable, which is non-engagement.
Yes.
So, for example, someone with me, like my theory, the revolutionary phenotype, a theory of biology pronounced in 2018, still valid, but you won't find a biologist in academia, other than Robert Rivers, who's now dead, who wants to talk about it publicly. So what do I do? Well, I have to ambush. I have to try to ankle bite some biologists until this theory is accepted. And it's a little bit what every small creator has to do. And the ambush is a legitimate tactic in that space where it's like, okay, you don't want to engage with me, I'm going to confront you.
I agree completely. Yes, it is ethically dubious. It is a breach of, it is a transgression of the agreed upon terms, but also the problem is the refusal to engage is also a problem. It's bad for discourse. Now, before we watch the clip, so Jay's reason for not wanting to engage with Corey, I want to get your opinion on this as well. He says Corey is a psychopath. The reason he says this is because Corey has essentially said that the Eastern Orthodox are traitors and should be dealt with as such, implying that they should basically be executed in some fashion. So that's the part where they say, oh, this guy wants to kill me, he's psychopathic. Do you think that's a good reason or a fair reason to not want to talk to someone?
Well, no, I don't think it is. A fair reason would be a targeting of the individual. If Corey Mahler
_brain sent $3 on Power Chat. Proverbs 30 proves Mr. JF's point. We humans will never know the full absolute truth, even if we have access to it.
Thanks, sir. I will turn off the alerts here for the JF appearance because I don't want to take too much
very
of his time.
interesting comment. To continue, if he had attacked Dyer on his personal life, and it's personal targeting and it's personal threat, but you have to distinguish between someone who's making a public case. So Corey Mahler, if he's commenting on the whole of Eastern Orthodoxy, then that's a public claim. Right. It's not an individual targeting that puts Dyer in actual danger. So no, I don't think it's legitimate.
Thank you. I agree completely with that. And Dyer, I'm not going to play this part, but he kind of he said, look, there's a precedent. I have rules. There was some other Muslim who was doxing his opponents, and I won't debate that guy either. Now, to me, that is a legitimate reason. If some guy is known to actually dox individuals, that's different. I don't like, though, that acting like those two things, like having a public position is the same thing as targeting individuals with what it could potentially be criminal harassment. And even if it's not technically criminal, is something nobody wants to deal with.
Absolutely. And the whole defining of the opponent as a psychopath, this has been done before. Sam Harris in The Moral Landscape says basically the people who disagree with me are psychopaths, and so I shouldn't engage with them. So they disagree to pursue happiness as the greater good and the well-being of conscious creature. They're psychos, so we shouldn't engage with them. We should just call them psycho and ignore them. That is typical of dogmatism, of non-negotiability, of psychological rigidity, and it's what the Sam Harris and the Dyer of this world have to do.
And it's ultimately basically like a cancel culture thing too. If you're encouraging other people to reinforce that narrative, this guy should be pushed out of the Overton window, this guy's unacceptable, he's beyond the pale. There's obviously a slippery slope there of censorship where we can start doing that based off of other things that we're going to deem unacceptable, right? And when we're talking about ideas, absolutely, I think you and I agree that basically all ideas should be on the table and we should be able to just refute bad ideas, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so we agree on this. Okay, so here is the moment where Corey Mahler shows up. Unfortunately, he had technical issues with his microphone, which created a real sort of aura loss in the moment, but I'll just play it from the start here.
Uncle Alerts on your channel, Jay? I imagine 10 times more.
Probably.
There's a small smile from Dyer.
That's not Trent. This is the first time that's ever happened.
So Corey's muted. He's trying to talk.
But this one isn't to anyone specifically, so I mean, if he wants to answer it too, but I don't even think it's a question, so I'll just go ahead and read it.
Now here, right off the bat, the host is like, whatever. This one, you can answer this one. Let's just rip. Let's riff with it. Of course, that's not going to fly.
Francis Dasa sent 20, and he says, Thomistic simplicity, ADS, leads to Scotism, Scotism. Then Occam's voluntaristic nominalism, leading to Protestant autonomous epistemic humanism, Enlightenment, deism, pantheism, and as St. Palamas warned, Jean Melcier's...
Oh, I was thinking this was the wrong question, but this was just, right, this is the reveal.
And theism.
I'll skip ahead a little bit. Because what happened is the mic problem.
So here you find yourself where there are platforms like Modern Day Debate that will impose. They will impose the rule of no ambush. And they have to, because they want to protect their credibility.
Right.
Back in my internet blood sports days, I was a little bit more dirty. I was like, the show is always worth it. So it's like, okay, there's an ambush. I'm going to act like it's bad, but I'm going to also let it happen.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, you're right. I don't think it's really surprising that this didn't work. I think Corey's thinking he asked for 2 minutes, and I think in his mind he was like, I just want 2 minutes. Maybe they'll give me 2 minutes because that's not that much, right?
Educate me on how to say these words.
And so they're all waiting for Corey to talk though, and he's muted.
But yeah, they didn't necessarily call for a response. So thank you for the 20, Francois Dassa.
Jay's just sitting there the whole time.
You're muted, Trent. Stand in. I didn't mute you, but it's
so the host is
internal
not yet realizing that this is a personal ambush.
He doesn't
he thinks,
know.
Okay, well, you're a stand-in. Yeah, he doesn't know. He knows something is wrong because he's keeping it muted, but he doesn't know the extent of the wrongness.
No, the host wasn't keeping him muted. Corey was just having tech issues, which was
okay, he was having tech issues.
Right, which that's what I said. It was like kind of an aura loss on the ambush because you show up, it's like, boom, surprise, motherfucker, but you can't figure out how to get your mic working. It's kind of unfortunate, right? So everybody's like waiting for him to talk, and it's not working.
All right. Is everything all right with Trent? Can you give me a nod?
I think this dude showed up and killed him and took his place.
Jay isn't calling for... Somebody in the chat says Jay isn't calling for the censorship of Corey. That's pretty dishonest. That's not what I meant, though. Here's what I meant, is that when you say that, and then other people are going to say, oh, you're scared. You're just scared to debate him and you're making excuses. And then what happens? All the Jay Dyer fans rally around Jay and say, no, we shouldn't debate psychopaths. And so whether you're calling for censorship or not, you're creating an atmosphere of censorship because you have all these voices chiming in saying people like that shouldn't get debated. Does that make sense to you, JF?
Yeah, that's how I understood what you said earlier.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope that's not the case.
So this psycho showed up and killed him and took his place.
Now that's actually a funny joke from Jay. Jay says this psycho showed up and killed him, which I have to give the devil his due there. I thought that was good. Good little banter.
It doesn't know how to work a microphone.
Chat's saying it's a very orthodox beard, though.
So I'll skip ahead.
I'll
skip ahead a little bit to where the Corey gets his mic on.
What? I would imagine it's chloroquine. Catechumen, you have it's like this.
Also,
20 is okay.
Lutheran.
That's typically.
Can you hear me or can you not?
Orthodox people to debate for me.
Can you hear me or can you not? Because
now we can.
Audio is working on my end.
Yeah, this is the first time we've been able to hear you.
We were having a fight between a pair of AirPods and a pair of JBL. So, tech is what it is.
Okay.
What I said before I realized I was muted is, may I purchase, as it were, 2 minutes from the chair just to make an important point here?
I don't.
If that is fine with the
I don't
other
think that's
debater.
how it works, unfortunately.
No, I'm not here to debate you.
Well, that's fine with the other
In fact,
debater.
I'm not interested in interacting.
Yeah,
with you. So, no.
We would need Trent back because these super chats are directed at him.
Trent's just taking a brief break. He actually undersold himself. He has 9 children.
Okay.
Because we do count pregnancies as children in Christianity. We don't consider them not to be persons. And so
9 kids is crazier. Are you jealous? I'm a little bit jealous.
Well, I'm getting there. I'm at 6.
Yeah.
Actually has 9. And so
I only got 3, so I got to catch up.
Is dealing with his wife because she is dealing with the children. So he's trying to help. So I've subbed in for him.
Understood.
I am a Lutheran as well.
But
Professional Lutheran.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to.
So this is here's the thing, and I would assume this was a planned ambush because the whole situation with Corey, the fact that Corey happens to be there during the debate, there is a tiny little allowance for maybe they weren't planning to do this, and Corey was just there to help with prep. And then the guy did get called away on a phone call, and so Corey was like, "Oh well, I'll go fill in till you're back." But Corey
were definitely prepared. And the thing with an ambush is that you can't leave. This is why it's truly a situation of hostage taking, because if you leave, you look like chicken.
Right.
Allow that.
I'm not interacting with this
Sorry,
guy.
brother.
He acts like a Fed, so I'm not doing it.
I appreciate.
I think that counts.
This is the guy who calls for. He calls for.
What are you doing in my chair?
He calls.
I got
for
him
the
back. If you'd
unaliving
like
of
Trent back,
Orthodox.
he's done
He's done
dealing
it like
with
6
the
times.
children.
So
Yes, Mr. Trent, if you could rejoin us. Apologies. Apologies. It doesn't work that way, man.
I got to get his headphones working.
Yeah.
he's gonna need his butt buddy to leave because I'm only debating one dude today.
All right. I do have chats for Trent whenever you're ready,
Trent
Trent.
is acting in an anti-Christian manner, and so now I would like to have 2 minutes to respond.
You're the one that calls for our.
Man,
This is beautiful.
Yeah, no.
How do you extend an ambush when you're stuck with the rules? You extend the ambush by promising to the official debater platform, "Oh, we're about to get you Trent back. Look, he's right here." But then you get in a little fight, and then you justify that fight that you deserve a response right, where you claim that ambush illegally. I love this.
That's exactly accurate. I'm so glad you said that because I have a tweet I'm going to show you after where I was arguing with a guy about this. But yes, this is clearly a gambit from Corey. Like, oh, they're kicking me off, but maybe if I appeal to he's slandering me and he's acting unchristian, like he's calling us homosexuals, maybe I can appeal to my Christian right to face my accuser and be given my 2 minutes. Maybe this will work. And but
Yes.
it doesn't work, unfortunately.
I gotta ask you to just hold it, man. I gotta finish this up with Trent per the agreement I have personally. I don't want to have to end this debate before I get to read these chats for Trent specifically. These people did pay to interact with him, not you.
That is fine. Well,
so,
actually, you may be surprised if you check your chats with whom they wanted to interact.
Now, what's funny about that comment from Corey, because you do have people being like, Jay's running, come on, let Corey talk. Somebody later, and I wasn't going to cover this, but I'll just mention it, sent $100 super chat and said, "Please give Corey his 2 minutes." And the host was like, "Thanks for the 100, but no, sorry, no refunds." And it's there's people who definitely wanted to see this.
It's a little bit of a lie what the modern day debate guy is saying, because it's not the people not wanting Corey there. Of course, they want the popcorn, they want the scene. He should have explained it as a rule. It's like, as a platform, I cannot create a repeated history of ambush where people know that I'm ambushing them.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
That aside, I will get Trent back with his audio working as long as the record reflects that Jay Dyer has now run away from a debate he offered 3 times.
This is just already an agreed upon time slot, man.
Nobody cares
And
about
this
you.
is what very, very often, this is what an ambush targets. Just a video demonstration of the refusal. Because when you're stuck with these intellectuals who do not engage with your point on Twitter. That's not a visual illustration. Now, Corey got his video illustration. You can see the refusal. That is a much more important demonstration, because if all you can have from someone is refusal, then you might as well have a stunning visual illustration of it.
Yeah, I guess he got what he wanted. Even he probably would have preferred to have been given his 2 minutes, but that's the
you call for the death of Orthodox people like 6 times in a row. Get out of here, you fat
the
fed.
consolation prize. Get out of here, you fat fed, Jay says, and now he's muted. Okay, so that's basically the initial interaction. Now there's one other segment, or 2 brief other segments I wanted to play, because I kept watching for a while, and I found this kind of comical, which is that the super chatters were making comments about Corey's position on the Orthodox, right? Like Corey wants to kill the Orthodox or whatever. And so Jay is like arguing with this Trent guy about what Corey had said. And to me, it felt almost like satirical, like almost like a Monty Python sketch. Like you're arguing with this guy about what somebody else said, and the guy is sat there in the room 2 feet away, but you're not going to let him talk. You're just going to argue by a proxy through this other guy. I thought that was kind of silly. So here's one example of where they get a super chat like that.
Super chat. Taguch sent another 10, and he said, "Do you share the beliefs of your friend to off Orthodox? Are they traitors?"
To off Orthodox?
That's the Trent.
That's as a verb.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know, what Corey says in the mode of his Twitter rhetoric, and positing the existence of certain status crimes under hypothetical conditions, and the carrying out of those things in the interest of a Christian realm under a Christian prince, very often are designed to be abrasive and to get people to think of the way in which the church has in fact operated, and I won't say brutally, but at least perhaps draconianly in certain circumstances. And I won't claim to know the full development of what he believes by that. He doesn't want to kill Jay Dyer. He doesn't want to round up the Orthodox off the streets and be a vigilante. And okay, so do I believe in the existence of status crimes that let's just say hypothetically that the Christian prince has a duty to go to the utmost to suppress blasphemy and false doctrine in the land, as did Josiah, as did Hezekiah, as did David and Solomon at times when they were walking righteously. I do believe that is the prerogative of a Christian prince.
Yeah, I mean, the comments called for the unaliving of the Orthodox due to, quote, treason and other crimes of state, which you don't have any evidence that Orthodox people are treasonous unless you're just going to go with the standard Zioslop news, which says that Putin runs everything in America. Putin got Trump elected, which is ironic.
So this is what I mean about arguing Corey's position with this other guy. It's, the question is, do you agree with him? And he's saying, well, yeah, I agree that there could be situations that it's like that this is not an idea that is totally unthinkable, and that we have examples in history. And now it's like, oh, well, so what's the charge? Like, what's the evidence? And it's like, well, at that point, you could just ask Corey, since it's his position, right? You could ask the guy who has the position why he has it.
So maybe it makes sense that was this before Corey came into the chair?
No, this is after. This is after Corey has left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then there would have been an occasion for a 2-minute good discussion.
Right. I think they could have just said, look, yeah, if I was Trent in that situation, I say, well, you're asking me what he believes. Why don't we just bring him on? Right. Good. Go for it one final time. Yeah. And then the same thing happened again. Maybe we don't even really need to play this one, but it was
G is questioning his entire worldview. This might be the most effective internal critique Jay has ever done.
Might be a little.
Can you confirm or deny?
It's been profitable. It's been a profitable my yeah. I mean, from his profits, and I can say
anyway, this one doesn't matter that much because it's just the same thing. They ask about the killing, and they kind of have another back and forth. And Jay's like, "Do you think we should kill Baptists too?" And Trent is like, these aren't really like my positions. Okay, so that's the ambush. Do you have any like final? I have a couple more things I want to show you before I let you go, but final thoughts or deeper analysis or anything you want to do there?
I don't have much deep to say other than, I mean, this is doctrinal debate in hyper-specific communities who each other say they are treasonous of the word. I feel above it all. I feel that the debate world has become a little less intelligent with time. It's going down. And I miss the debates of the 2017-2020 era.
Yeah, now I'm reading into what you're saying there a little bit, but I feel like the topics that get tackled generally on these debate channels don't matter that much. So I don't know if that's what you mean, but it's like we have these issues of like immigration, race war, however you want to put it, race realism, and nobody's having those conversations anymore, but they're still pertinent and important. Jewish influence, forget about that. I'm blacklisted from modern day debate. Do you want to hear the story?
Oh yes, I want to hear this.
So I got invited to do a 2v2 with Alex Stein as my partner against two unknown people, and the topic was female privilege. This was like 2-3 years ago. And I agreed because I was like, oh, Alex Stein, sure, cool, fun. The other two people were like idiots who didn't know anything and basically conceded in 5 minutes. But before the debate started, the host, he's got us all on. We're not live. He's just talking to us. He says, okay, a couple rules. Do not talk about Jews. Don't mention Jews. Don't bring that up, right? Okay. We're like, okay, all right, whatever. So this debate sucks. Me and Alex are frustrated because the opponents have nothing to say. And it's like, what are we doing here? The debate actually ended like I'm not even exaggerating. It ended like 20, 30 minutes earlier than scheduled because they had nothing to say. And then we're doing closing statements. And I go, so they conceded, we gave examples of female privilege. They conceded that it's real, as you all saw. So in conclusion, female privilege is real, and we all know who's behind it. The Jews. I do that at the end. And then James unfollowed me on Twitter, and I'm never invited back to, and they took it down on YouTube and they put it up on Patreon only and all that. Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Okay. Now do you ever block people on Twitter, JF?
Often.
Yeah.
I often do.
I do.
I have a series of rules that lead to a block, and they are larger than people think.
Yeah, I'm the same. And I think a lot of people who have a sizable following, they learn sooner or later that you sort of have to operate like that. Now, I ended up blocking this guy, and I wanted to see if you agree, if this is a situation where you would block, or maybe you think I'm in the wrong. I wanted just your analysis on this little back and forth I had on X. So this guy says, this fat soy-beard clown is the real coward here. Blocked me after he got embarrassed because he is unable to read, tried to sneak into an already scheduled debate. He then is too much of a coward to stand on his own words that Orthodox Christians should be killed. One of the most emotional, easily offended, intellectual infants currently operating in the Christian space. Orthodoxy lives rent-free in his head because precocious, intelligent young white American men are flocking to the true church, not whatever nonsense cult he is building while being excommunicated by his own feminist, anti-white denomination that he defends apologetically. You will be forgotten very soon, you impotent, childless old freak. So that's the tweet that I responded to. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I wouldn't block for that tweet. I guess you then had an interaction with him. That tweet is just okay. He's being a fanatic activist of one side of this debate. So be it. That's not particularly interesting because it just shows I'm on team anti-Corey.
Right. No, I totally. But so here's the part I was wondering if you would, because this is what raised my eyebrows, and based off of what we watched, I was wondering if you would catch this too, where he says he's too much of a coward to stand on his own words that Orthodox Christians should be killed. I was confused by what he meant by that, because he's implying that Corey backpedaled or like pretended he didn't say that. In the tweet here, that the screenshot, it says, "Permit me to ensure I've been entirely clear. Eastern Orthodoxy is a heretical cult. The convertidox in particular are traitors. The punishment for traitors must be capital. The solution to the subversive EO in the West is the destruction of their leaders." So that sounds like standing on business, as the kids say, right? So I was confused.
I guess there's another interpretation of this sentence.
Sure.
He then is too much of a coward to stand on his own words. Standing on his own words can sometimes mean letting the words speak rather than debating them in detail. So it's probably what he's saying. He's saying, oh, you wanted your 2 minutes to explain further, whereas you should just stand for what these words mean. You said they deserve traitor punishment. That's all you had to say. There's nothing to add.
Okay, I don't think that's the normal meaning. I think I think when you say somebody doesn't stand on their words, you're implying that they backpedaled, they backed down when confronted or challenged. That's how I took it, but I wasn't sure because I didn't watch the whole thing, so I thought maybe I missed something. Maybe Corey was allowed to speak and he did backpedal. So I asked for clarification. I said, what do you mean by not standing on his own words? I had to step away, so I'm not sure what I missed. And he says, Corey said he didn't want to talk, or sorry, Jay said he didn't want to talk to someone who calls for Orthodox Christians to be killed. Corey then started blabbering about how that was slander before letting his feeble opponent retake the stage. Corey loves talking big and saying ridiculous Fed-like things on the timeline, but doesn't want to stand by them on camera. And I said,
so I mean, yes, there's an extent to which when we do provocative stuff, and I've done a lot across the years, when you do edgy stuff, the apology is always a danger, and even the suggestion that people are slandering you. Like, you will never hear me say that when they say I'm this white nationalist or supremacist, you'll never hear me fight back against this. Because I don't want to be in that exact situation where the mere suggestion that these terms would be slander deprives me of having this ideology as a legitimate ideology.
I understand completely what you mean, but I have an advantage over you, which is that I know Corey well. I know what kind of man he is and sort of how he thinks, and he wouldn't do that. If you said you wanted to kill Orthodox, he wouldn't be like, no, that's not what I meant. You're slander. He would not do that. So what he did, why he brought up slander was because of the Fed accusation, which is separate. Mm-hmm. Just because you want people to die, it doesn't necessarily follow that you're a federal agent, right? So that one could be true and the other is slander. And also, obviously, that was like we said already, a gambit to try to speak. So I said to the guy, oh, I see where the confusion is. The slander remark was in regards to Jay calling him a Fed. As for standing on his own words, it appears he's doing that in the very screenshot you posted. Ironic you would accuse him of having comprehension issues.
I think you're right on target on this one.
Thank you. Now I'm going to keep going to the end if you don't mind. He goes, he is happy to say things on the timeline and block whoever he wants and get engagement from his low IQ prot audience that needs him to talk for them, lest they be excommunicated like him. He had no interest in, here's the part. He had no interest in defending his desire to kill Orthodox Christians on stream, so he cried like a weenie while pulling his dishonest stunt. Now, I feel like this is the part where I would have been within my rights to say, "Are you fucking retarded?" But I wanted to keep it civil, so I said he was explicitly denied the opportunity to speak while Jay Dyer grilled the other guy on his views while he was right there, right in the room. Like, don't you think that's crazy to be like, oh, he was too much of a coward to argue? It's like, did we watch the same thing? They told him he couldn't talk. We all saw that, right?
Well, I think his statement is a little more subtle because he's saying down the line, even if he had his 2 minutes, he wouldn't have defended his killing comment. So it's, well, we didn't get to see it, and you can't really do it on YouTube. So it's kind of a moot thing that he's pursuing there. But it's a little more subtle than saying he didn't want to debate. He's arguing that he didn't want to debate the specific aspect of the killing. And that kind of has to be the case because you can't discuss killing on modern day debate anyway, on YouTube in general.
I first of all, I'm not sure that's how Corey would even look at it. And also that's not necessarily true. Like you could have a debate about, should we have the death penalty for pedophiles, right? Like you could do that on YouTube.
I mean, there's a story of people actually making comments on pedophiles and getting banned for it or getting strikes. It's at the border.
Because they're calling for vigilante justice, though, which is a different thing. Right?
As far as the X conversation here, I think there's definitely a disconnect between your understanding, his understanding. It's tight. Let's continue reading.
Yeah, I just think, not to spend too much time on this, but he had no interest in defending his desire. I don't think you can draw that conclusion when he was not allowed to talk at all, when he was told, get out of here.
Because maybe his intent would have been to engage Jay Dyer on this.
Thank you. So I said he was explicitly denied the opportunity to speak. This guy said Jay was there to debate Trent, and then, they did an ambush. I'll just paraphrase a little bit. And then I said, yeah, that's their prerogative. They don't have to engage with him. But you're making a false claim that Corey wasn't willing to defend his own position, which is weird. Then this guy says, you're shucking and jiving. Jay said he acts like a Fed by calling for Orthodox Christians to be killed. Whether Corey was semantically responding to a Fed accusation, which wasn't made, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm just going to skip over this. I said, the slander claim was about calling him a Fed, not about him calling for the death of Orthobros. And then this guy said, you look like a fool. And then I blocked him. That was where I blocked him.
Well, I think it's a justified block because there are these people, they don't specifically attack you or, they don't break a rule against your ethics or the protection of your family or personal insult. But they are so deep in the weeds of always defending their side. They are fanatics of the other side. And you know that from these people, you cannot get anything intellectual. It's always going to be, what's the argument that I can do to make Corey look bad? So yes, this kind of people I can block if they go too far and if they bring me into too deeps of weeds that I don't care about.
Based. Yeah. And so, I mean, again, I'll go on the record and say that Corey will defend that if any ortho dudes want to debate him, and I'll set it up and I'll host it. So that's part of the reason I'm so confident in my position with that exchange, is because I know Corey is not afraid to just argue his case. And I would be willing to host that on YouTube. I'll do that.
Well, you are a self-destructive maniac.
Right. Okay, so that was basically it. I don't know. I have a theory. I don't know how much time you have. If you want to go, that's fine. You can go. But I did want to ask you about your love life a little bit, because I have a theory I want to bounce off you that I think might help you with your next wife. If you're, I don't want to be presumptuous.
No, you can go ahead, but as far as my love life goes, I've played a hard game. I've played life on hard mode, and I don't regret anything. I'm not asking everyone to live love and sex the way I do, but I'm asking you to respect my game, and my game is different from most people, and I'm kind of a recycler of the entropy of the world. I get women who are ready to make babies, and I have babies with them, and it leads me to evolutionary success. I have 6 babies, and down the line, I'm willing to hear you, and I do have time to stay, but keep that in mind. I have special ear blocks. These special ear blocks are designed to expel any word coming from anyone who has less than 6 babies.
Oh.
So I'm willing to let your audio bounce onto my face, but it might just not enter my brain.
That's fair. So, I mean, this is basically advice on how to maybe, again, I don't want to sound presumptuous, but to keep the woman from leaving, like where I think you might be having issues based off of what I understood from your last relationship, which I could be totally wrong here in my assessment, but you can let me know if that's the case. But what I understood about it is you took this woman from Quebec and you guys moved to Alberta. And I'm guessing here, but I'm guessing that you don't do a lot of social functions, JF, and that you don't have a lot of interest in social functions. And I think that might be where you're having a hard time, because women like to be social and to be around other adults and other women and not just be around kids. And so, like, for example, me here with my wife, we're going on 8 years now married. Every holiday, it's 10 people around the table, like once a month we have that thing. The women are all in the kitchen cooking together. The guys are like drinking beer, and not everybody necessarily has access to that big of a family. We also go to church on Sundays, and there's some social aspects to that. But my impression, and again, maybe I'm way off base here, is that you live with your wife at the time, kind of secluded in your house with your kids, and you don't get out much. And I think that is hard to keep a woman happy. Whereas an autistic guy loves, that's no problem, but the woman needs a little more interaction with other adults and other women. That's my theory on where you maybe are going wrong.
My sweet little naive boy, I hypocrite, with his trophy wife and his 10 friends. You are so naive, I almost don't want to explain to you how deeply wrong you are, how your counseling does not apply.
Okay.
But let me just suggest a hypothesis to you. You invite your 10 friends. Your wife gets excited, starts smoking crack in the bathroom, comes out...
What?
Comes out naked of the bathroom, starts physically assaulting your 10 guests, goes on the streets, call the police to tell them that interdimensional aliens are coming after her, and that her boyfriend has just betrayed her with one of these interdimensional aliens. Now, let me know, I hypocrite, what do you do in that situation? Because it's very easy to have the 10 friends with the Christian wife, and you just eat some meat pie and everyone is happy. Now, what do you do when she smokes crack and accuses you of interdimensional alien betrayal?
Granted, in that situation, probably the social life is not going to be enough to maintain a stable household. But I guess what I would say, and again, I say this in a friendly way, if that's a recurring problem with multiple women, it might be something to do with the women you're selecting.
And this is such an important point, because right now I'm writing White People Food, my culinary opus, which is a 320 pages treatise on European cuisine. And I do a lot of deep thinking about what is entropy, what is the universe, why do we eat? And down the line, we are the detritus of nature. We are products of nature. We are not special snowflakes. We are in the same compost pile as everything else. And what I want you to understand is I play a game at a different layer of the compost pile than you do. And you talk about selection. I don't have selection because I'm not a special snowflake. I come inside any pussy that shows up to my door. That's my reproductive strategy, and it's a legitimate one. You respect the squirrel when he goes out there and gathers their nut. You respect the rhino with his big horn protecting himself from predators. Respect JF. JF is a collector of the bottoms of the world, and I don't take anything from you. You should, in fact, more than respect me. You should enjoy that you are living in a symbiosis with me, because I take no woman that you would ever care about.
Yeah, you know what? I do respect it. And I think, though, the only reason I wanted to bounce that off you is because I have noticed a tendency with you to sort of expound that all women are untrustworthy. And I think that might be, if you were a little more selective, you might not feel so strongly about that part.
Again, once two women are interested in me at the same time, that day I'll be selective.
Good answer. All right, cool. Awesome. Anyway, I'm just trying to help. So no offense intended or anything. And I respect the game.
No, but in the end, what I do is more functional. I have more babies than you. So in the end, it boils down to my ear blocks. I cannot hear what you're saying, I hypocrite, until you show me 6 of your babies.
Challenge accepted. All right, JF, a pleasure as always. Really appreciate you taking the time. Good to talk to you, man. You can plug or whatever if you want to let people know where to find you.
Yes, well, just wait in September or October, and I Hypocrite, send me a physical address if you want to receive a free copy signed by my hand of White People Food. It will be an absolute gigantic culinary art opus. It will be something you want to have on hand.
I will. Thank you. I appreciate that. By the way, there was a video you put out asking for Chinese women. Did you get any takers on that, or how did that?
There is a Chinese woman who contacted me. Didn't work, because the problem with women is they are local beings. They are really creatures of, they are like cockroaches, but at a city level rather than kitchen level. So they don't fly in planes. You never heard of a cockroach that made it into a new continent. They always live where they are. So it's very hard to actually get especially a Chinese woman from Chinese culture, to get her to abandon her parents and her culture. It's like they are constantly scared. Any woman with authoritarian parents, they don't really fly in planes to get fucked. So I have to deal with the facts of the universe, and I have abandoned my Chinese pursuit.
Okay. JF, thanks again. We'll have to get you back on again sometime, hopefully soon. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Tazi happy. Ching chong boom.
Ching chong boom. He says ching chong boom. Ah, good times. Good times. All right. Well, that was fun. 12:20. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go through everything. Oh, okay. So we were on Tucker Carlson's 10-point plan.
The 10 point.
Oh, wait. Let me resume these super chats and play the ones that got missed. See if this works.
Ked's dad sent $3 on Power Chat. J. Dyer has 0 kids. He has never inseminated in any meaningful way. That tells me all I need to know.
Can I pause? We're trying, man. We're trying.
Anonymous sent $3 on Power Chat. Tucker is a commie. He praised George Galloway of the UK.
Yeah, there's this weird leftist appeal, leftist economics. You know, again, in a white society, whatever, we can talk about socialism and welfare in a white homogenous society, but with brown people, that doesn't work. What was the one so I mean, look, Corey also has no kids, so it's kind of a wash, but in that regard. And similarly, and people always, I do think people should have kids, but also Hitler had no kids, you know, the GOAT, the man himself. So I try not to overstate that as like, you're completely pathetic if you have no kids. I think that's too far, but obviously it's better to have kids. You know, Corey is single and Jay is married, and there could be fertility issues there, which is a tragedy if it's true. But like, if it was me and Allison and we couldn't get pregnant, I'm pretty sure we would adopt. We may adopt if we keep having problems. Like, that's something that's like on the table. So.
Monkey Brian sent $3. Very interesting. One more entry in my J vlog.
Thank you, Monkey Brain. Man, he's so funny. I'm on a different level. I have no selection. Any woman who wants inseminated. And then you're like, well, maybe you would have a higher opinion on women if you were more selective. And he goes, well, as soon as 2 women are interested in me at the same time, then I'll start selecting. That's so funny. Oh, JF.
Points in the 10-point program: health, unity, fairness, honesty, decency, beauty, productivity. I'm not making this up. I'm not making it up. It's not a joke. These are the 10 points in the 10-point plan. And here's what doesn't work. Let me tell you what doesn't work. It doesn't work when you make your entire shtick that you're a plain-spoken, no-nonsense, straight-shooting, folksy, in-the-woods guy like the rest of us, and then your political project is all focus group tested rhetoric. That's what does not work.
JF is who Clav wishes he could be. Yeah, you need to be insemination maxing. Get rid of plastic in your life, especially underwear. Pretty sure I don't have plastic in underwear. So I think we're good there. The tism is impressive. That's what I love about JF. JF is the guy I like to turn to when I want a high IQ, autistic, unbiased take.
It doesn't work when you try to rebrand from a snobby, bow tie wearing.
Yeah, Amy, obviously I agree. You should be
Blake
married,
RB
obviously.
sent $3. It's always good to see JF. How can you not smile every time he says interesting?
Thank you. Thank you, Mama JF. You know, I told JF I respect it, and I was being polite. I don't agree with it, but it's just it's just like, look, I was an atheist for like 30 years, 35 years, so I understand it's a different mindset. So I'm, you know, when I'm dealing with atheists, I basically approach them on that level. Because it's just, you gotta sit there and like wag your finger at people and be like, no, no, no. But yeah, I agree. It's not the right way to do it. And, you know, kids should have their mothers. Children should have their mothers and their fathers. Children should grow up with their mothers and their fathers, ideally.
Libertarian, trust fund, Republican elitist, and then you pretend like you're in the woods fishing and hunting and worrying about money and sleeping with your dogs and the rest of it. That rebrand doesn't work if your political project is just more political crap, because that's what this is. This is not a plan. This is not a doctrine. There's no ideas here.
The NSDAP had awards for women who had children when they could not find a husband. So single moms? That's, let me just grok that real quick. Grok. Did the NSDAP have awards for women who had children when they could not find a husband?
The NSDAP didn't have a specific award just for unmarried women with children, but they did create the Cross of Honor of the German Mother in 1938. It was given to racially Aryan women who had 4 or more children. Bronze was for 4 to 5 kids, silver for 6 to 7, and gold for 8 or more. The focus was really on boosting the birth rate for the master race, and they even set up the Lebensborn program to support single mothers who were considered racially suitable.
So single mothers were eligible for the award.
Yes, single mothers were eligible for the Cross of Honor of the German Mother.
Even if they had like 5 different baby daddies and were never married.
Let me check the exact eligibility rules. So, for 10 children with 5 different fathers and no marriage, it would almost certainly have been denied. The Mother's Cross required probity and reputable moral standing, which explicitly included no evidence of promiscuous behavior or marital infidelity.
There it is.
Multiple
No evidence of promiscuity or marital infidelity. Okay. Whew!
This isn't a program. This isn't even a revolution. And he says it at the beginning.
Take China. Should I get acupuncture? Everybody's giving me fertility tips. How do you know it's me? Well, just because I'm 50.
He says this is actually counter-revolutionary. And what it is, it serves the same purpose as one of these books that all these candidates write before they run for office. You know how before Rick Santorum or John Huntsman or Mitt Romney, before they run for office, they have a political consultant ghostwrite a book, which they will sell a few months before they announce, or they drop it sometime after the announcement.
Acupuncture is great for what? No, I'm 45. I'm not actually 50. I just feel 50. Allison is 28? 1998. I think 20. She's either 27 or 28. My brain's shut off. I get 2 hours of streaming. That's it for my brain actually functioning.
And the book is going to be filled with garbage like this. It's going to say decency,
49.
civility, pride, patriotism, unity, prosperity. It's going to contain all these buzzwords that mean nothing. There's no specificity. We can't affix ourselves to any of them because there's no details in them. And everybody can simply just project onto these vague words whatever they'd like. That's really what this is serving as.
I think 27.
It's political garbage. I'll tell you what else doesn't work about this. It doesn't work if your whole shtick is being plain spoken and then you give us rhetoric. That also doesn't work if you're trying.
I am offended. You're supposed to tell me I look younger than I am, you motherfucker.
To fill Donald Trump's shoes. If you think that we're going to create the successor movement to MAGA, we're going to fill the shoes of Donald Trump with this. It just goes to show you don't understand how Trump got elected, how Trump created the MAGA movement, how the right wing became ascendant again in the country. You want to know the difference? What was Trump's program in 2016? Build a wall, lock her up, law and order, drain the swamp. We're going to say Merry Christmas again. That was the program in 2016. Tariff man.
Yeah, and she'll be 28 in November, and I will be 46 in November.
What's the program in 2028? Health, decency, unity, productivity. Let's be sweet and nice, and let's just hold hands and sing Kumbaya, and let's eat the rich, and let's end all the wars, and let's get rid of bedtime, and let's...
It depends when you're asking me when I was envisioning. When I was in high school, no.
Have ice cream in the cafeteria? Fuck you. And I have to say, I was a little bit gleeful seeing the manifesto because it just goes to show they are not prepared for what is going to happen. It's crazy because the playbook has been here for 10 years. The playbook, this is an open book exam. The playbook, as written by Trump, as written by Imperator Trump, has...
Thank you, deplorable one. That wasn't so hard.
It's been open for 10 years, and they still don't get it. We're not going to win.
That's right, definitely. You're going to feel like a real asshole when I come back with my mane, with my lion's mane.
And with this economic populism, we're not going to win with this conciliatory approach to the left. There will never be a Trumpism without Trump. There's never going to be this handshake between the CIA and the rubes to stop bringing the race war to the forefront. It's just not going to happen.
I'm not sure what word that was supposed to be, but thank you for the $3. My wife is 47. She's 7 weeks pregnant. Wow. Good luck. I hope it all works out. Blessed. I hope it's not retarded. Yeah, that's I mean, it's the same with me being 45. Like, just the older you get, the more risk there is. Those are just the facts. Jeremy Boring said that he's gonna do a show with James Lindsay, Conceptual James, to, debunk the Tucker Carlson communism or whatever. It is worse for the women, of course, but it's also, men are not immune either. Thank you. Oh, how did my desktop get muted? Weird. You guys could hear Nick that whole time, right? That's weird. Is there like some kind of hotkey I pushed or something?
American conservative coalition is in the way of this new majority that they're fostering. If Elizabeth Warren would just be against gay marriage and abortion, she would be the dream presidential candidate of Tucker Carlson. I think Tucker's trying to forge a new political coalition in America. It's sort of like a European mid-20th...
Was Nick muted that whole time? There's no way. Somebody would have said something.
Century European right-wing socialist movement. Tucker's a socialist. It's not that there's never been people who put forward that vision, but it's never been as poised to seize actual political power as it is right now. He's obviously engaged in a political project. I don't know that he'll run for president. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. If you're going to build a coalition that is right-wing social populism and left-wing economic populism, you have to separate off evangelicals from the American right. You separate off evangelicals from the American right by making the American right oppose Israel. I think Tucker has a...
Dude, I'm not paying attention to these clips at all. I might just have to wrap this up. Michael Knowles talks about the Groypers being taking over the party. Let's see. So much stuff. Vosh is moving to the Netherlands, by the way. Okay, we're going to skip Michael Knowles. We're going to skip Abdullah Salama Malenkum. This is a graph worth touching on real quick. This shows the support for socialism and communism by race. And as you can see, white people uniquely opposed to socialism and communism, while Asians, Hispanics, and blacks all support it. Blacks having massive support for socialism. So this is one of the things about Asians. They're not like us when it comes to economic policy. The most important part of the Tucker Daryl Cooper interview. Okay, I wanted to check this out because I didn't watch any of the interview, but this is from Uncommon Sense, which is a good Twitter account for politics and JQ stuff. So he posted this, so I thought we'd give it a listen.
When you say the Nuremberg system, what does that mean?
It means, well, there's a lot of elements to it having to do with geopolitics and warfare, but from the standpoint that we're talking about right now, you know, it's this idea that for people to live historically in the sense that I just described it is something that is dangerous and to be targeted and broken down. And you saw this really on domestic social levels. I mean, you see it. I mean, it's not as if that left-wing government in Spain is not part of the problem. You know,
they're definitely
clearly
part of the
are. But here in the United States, you know, you saw the effects of it over the course of the second half of the 20th century, where, you know, you had our cities back in the day that were sort of these organic communities with separate neighborhoods divided by ethnicity and religion that were not in conflict with one another. They had arrived at compromises over the years and ran their cities in an organic way. And people were part of, you know, they were plugged into communities that watched them be born and that would watch them die and that their kids would grow up in and know that their kids were going to grow up in. And they sensed themselves as these people. You know, they understood themselves as part of this living community that was going to continue on afterwards. So it was important for them to make sure that the things they inherited were given to the people that that came along after their period of stewardship. And over the course of the second half of the 20th century, I mean, it was official U.S. government policy, essentially, to use mass migration, generally of African Americans from the South, as bludgeon weapons to go in and break these communities up and drive these people out to the suburbs, drive them out to other areas where, you know, that old parish church that used to be all, you know, Italian Catholics, you go drive through there now in Newark and it's maybe some old grandmas who are still there, but everybody else lives 45 minutes away now, so nobody goes there anymore. And all of those communities were broken up by force very often and through violence indirectly on purpose. And it was because they were looked at as something that was potentially, you know, that when people are living in a way where they sense themselves as part of a larger project, the idea after World War II was that that can and in fact will almost inevitably get out of hand. And out of
get out of hand in what way?
Well, the way that the Germans got out of hand. I mean, that's, you know, the idea that they start taking themselves too seriously and thinking of their historical mission too seriously, and they start to act on it in the world in a way that is dangerous to others. That was the idea, right? And of course, there's only one group, at least in the Western world, that we decided that doesn't apply to, and it's because they were the ones who were the victims of the Germans. So the Israelis, the Jewish people in general, very much live historically, and their right to do that and ability to do that is, you know, you could say it's the central and primary, certainly foreign policy, but even with a lot of domestic policies, mission of the U.S. government and the sort of Western European NATO system in general. It's a central focus of that, which is very strange when you think about it, until you realize that we're living in the aftermath of Nuremberg. We're living in the aftermath of the Second World War. And we're probably coming up to the end of that cycle right now. I think that we're reaching the point where everybody who was around back then is gone. People who remember it directly and who have the real enthusiasm for it that was born out of direct experience is probably fading away. That seems to be the historical cycle every 80 to 100 years,
Yeah. Good stuff. Yes, he did also mention Thomas77. We talked about that. And then Thomas77 had his Twitter account banned right afterwards. Fortunately, I do have email contact with him, so I'm still going to get him on the show. But this is what I was talking about. So we already talked about Martyr Made, Daryl Cooper, giving a shout out to Thomas's book. And what I said is there is a real cost to doing something like that. That doesn't just potentially affect Thomas77's Twitter account like we now see, but it potentially affects Martyr Made as well in some ways. Like he could, everybody like raised a stink about it, or the usual suspects did, in such a way that maybe he doesn't get to go back on Tucker Carlson. Maybe Joe Rogan was thinking about having him, but not anymore. And you have to like recognize the people who are real. This is kind of how you tell people really are about it. They really believe in the movement, in the ideology, and they're willing to bear the cost of doing that. Whereas other people will call you a Fed. Other people will say you're a fat Fed, and they'll Fed jacket you, which is like the polar opposite, so that they can distance themselves from your extremism. And so you got to be able to like recognize like who is who in that equation. And I want to be clear here. I'm not saying that everybody must necessarily fall on their sword and scream "It's the Jews" from the mountaintops and get banned from PayPal so they can be a legitimate dissident like me. You don't have to do that. And there is actually value in having people who don't do that, who maintain an air of plausible deniability while being based, and they're able to have successful careers and climb higher on the media ladder and so on and so forth. But here's the catch. Don't counter signal the people who are doing that. That's the rule. You don't have to do it. You don't have to get demonetized, banned, blah, 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 blah. Don't Fed jacket the people who are. Don't counter signal them. Don't say, oh, that guy, he's crazy. He's too extreme. Sometimes people get like, they get sort of cornered on a topic like that where they have to say something. And it's a little bit more understandable, but it's still better if you don't. It's like when they tried to get Donald Trump to disavow David Duke, and he's just like, he wouldn't do it. It's better to not even if somebody tries to like corner you, just don't do it. Turn it around on the person and just be like, I see what you're trying to do here, and I'm not going to play your games, Anyway, Vosh announces that he is moving to the Netherlands, a country that is whiter than America. Vosh said the U.S. isn't white for me. I never countersignaled Tyler Russell, the Bad Bunny fan. That's just an objective. He likes Bad Bunny. Hey, him and Nick, they like Bad Bunny. That's not a countersignal. That's just a statement of fact.
I'm actually moving. I struggled for a while forgive my hair. I just came out of the shower. I struggled for a while on how to, announce this, because I think that
anyway, long story short, Daryl Cooper's a real nigga, and I respect that guy. I like him.
For like 99% of YouTubers, an announcement like this would be like, met with a chorus of, oh, go enjoy yourself, have a great time, enjoy your life, whatever. But I know that there's a particular anxiety, tinging this announcement, at least for a lot of the people who are going to watch it, because for many of my viewers, I'm a kind of canary in the coal mine, for the decline of America, right? When the jackbooted thugs break down my door and beat me to...
Not enough horse... Well, I saw Anna Slat say that, like, in the Netherlands, the age of consent is 16, and also she said it was a hub for child pornography, which I was unaware of. Is the Netherlands a hub for child porno? Netherlands hosts most of Europe's child sexual abuse material. It's from October 2025. So make of that what you will. Probably just a coincidence. Yeah, I know. You don't really want to be putting stuff like that in the search bar. I know. I should have just asked Grok.
Death for daring to criticize Israel. That's then everyone else in America who watches me gets to go like, oh, now we really freak out. So I want to be clear real quick, me leaving America right now, it's not directly because of the general decline of the country. Here, I'll explain. Let me back up. I agonized for...
this got posted around Twitter a bit, and I posted it like on my Telegram. And a recurring thing I saw from a lot of people was like, who the fuck is Vosh? Never heard of him. And there's something to be said about that, because in like 2018, 2019, if you were dissident right, you probably knew who Vosh was. And like, you probably knew who Destiny was. And I haven't heard anything about Destiny basically in like 2 years. And I haven't heard about Vosh in like 5 years. And there is this kind of like this balkanization thing that happened where the right and the left just got sort of segregated. The left all sort of left Twitter. And even the ones that are on there, you don't really see them. And, it's kind of part of why things are so stupid now, because in the good old days, we would dunk on shit libs on Twitter and we were like unified around that. And now what happens is like, they're not around. So now you got a bunch of right-wing dudes who agree on 90% of things, who become mortal enemies, incessantly shit talking each other because of the 3 things that they don't completely agree on. But yeah, I saw a lot of people who just like don't know who Vosh was. And it's like, well, if you were around 7 years ago, you probably would. What's the Telegram? It is, what is the Telegram? Is it iHypocritical? It's, it's t.me/iHypocritical, because somebody stole iHypocrite from me. t.me/iHypocritical.
For how to make this video, because like, I didn't want to make it too early. Why am I moving? Well, the answer is simple, folks. It's not for canary in the coal mine reasons. It's love.
It's mostly a mirror of the Twitter, except it has less stuff on there. But I retweeted on Twitter the Vosh thing, and I posted on Telegram. That's why I said Telegram. But it's basically the mirror of the Twitter. But
Anonymous sent $5. I heard Vosh say, "I'm going to eat your babies. Put them in my mouth and on them like now and laters."
See, this guy knows. This guy's an old head.
When I met my beautiful partner some years back, I knew that they were, and believe it or not, still are, an immigrant,
Yeah,
and
the Mr. Girl debate as well. Classic Bosch moment.
As much as I'm able to tolerate the general decline of things in this country, I enjoy a lot of privileges that immigrants don't. The administration has made it abundantly clear that they'll take any opportunity they can to, really go after immigrants, especially because they don't enjoy the same protections that, citizens do. And for that reason, obviously, my partner's had a lot of, trepidations about continuing to stay here in the United States. I knew that when I met up with them. So I guess the question was, when we first started going out, would things work off, would they work well enough between us that eventually, when they decided it came time for them to move, I would join them. Things have hit it off between us. I don't know what to tell you folks,
No gendered language used whatsoever. Partner, them, they were. This nigga's banging a troon. Your Honor, this nigga is banging a troon. For a second there, I was like, he's got a gold button, but no, he's got 2 silver buttons. YouTube won't give me my silver button. Kind of pisses me off, honestly. It's stupid, but it's like, the only thing I've ever done in my life worth recognition is get 100,000 YouTube subs, and they won't even give me my plaque.
I'm in love. It's corny, but it's true. Leaving at the end of the month, give or take, to the Netherlands, by the way, so I can enjoy some goddamn urbanism before I die. Look, I love Seattle, and Seattle's on the up and up right now too, with the light rail transit, the link. It's been doing quite well in terms of modernizing itself and pedestrianizing. But if I'm gonna move, I might as well do.
Send $5 when I go to the gym. I feel like my favorite superhero. A little 4.
Thank you. Good joke.
But
Good dad
look,
joke.
if my partner was like, I want to get out of here, let's move to Croatia, maybe we wouldn't be having this conversation. Maybe I'd be like, I'll take my chances here in the States. No hate to Croatians. I'm sure there are many good ones out there. Very fine people. Sorry.
Following in Styx's footsteps. Yeah, maybe he's marrying Styx's ex-wife. The next step, of course, will be coming home and developing a crippling alcohol addiction and going off the deep end. Why can't I have a silver button? They're kind of vague because there's 2 possible reasons. One of them is that they say if you have a strike in the last year, which I have, so that would be disqualifying. And despite my best efforts, the odds of me going a whole year, and I think it actually has to be 13 months or 15 months, because it would be a year because the strike is on your account for 3 months when you get it. So it's not super clear, but I think the strike has to be off your account after 90 days. And then you go a year. But they also say if you have advertiser unfriendly videos, which is like mind blowing. But it's not clear to me. It's like, what? So if I have one fucking yellow icon, because my Michael Jackson video is yellow iconed and I don't want to delete it again.
Chuck Steak sent $3 on Power Chat. He made love to me Indy as Vosh's partner.
Probably. Perez Hilton had a mental health crisis the other day. Very gory, just covered in blood and cuts. I can't show it on stream. It's a bit too much for TV. But if you don't know who Perez Hilton is, he has 5 million Twitter followers. He's a big tabloid guy. He used to be quite famous, sort of irrelevant and fell off now. Flaming homosexual. Super, super gay. He's having this mental health crisis where he's covered in his own blood and all cut up. And people were like, oh man, are his kids okay? And I was like, this nigga can't have kids. He's queerer than a $3 bill. He's, what do they say? this nigga zestier than a... Anyway, I looked it up and he has 3 children through surrogacy. So that's cool. Perez Hilton, and by the way, if you scroll down on his his profile. His recent tweets have like kind of more views and impressions because of what happened, people talking about him and checking in on him. But it's like, if you go backwards, like for a 5 million account, he would get like 11 likes on one like on this tweet and one comment. One like, no comments. So he's just kind of like his 5 million follower account just tweeting into the void. Nobody.
Monkey_brain sent $3 on power chat. Call him fat again. LP.
Well, you know, he lost weight. That's the thing. He's actually less fat than he was when I said that. But that was funny. I said, he did this big speech about, you know, not only are you stupid, but you don't know you're stupid, and like just like rambled, and I just went, you're fat. That was awesome. That was awesome and true. But not true anymore, really. I wouldn't really call him fat now, unfortunately. Unfortunately, he's managed to achieve some level of discipline. Perhaps peptides played a role. Who's to say? One thing Perez Hilton was associated with way back in the day was the Leave Britney Alone video, this famous video we all remember. This was made because Perez Hilton, he's a tabloid guy, but unlike most tabloids like the TMZ style, where they just report people's dirty laundry, Perez Hilton would heavily criticize people and condemn them morally and this and that. So he was doing that to Britney Spears, which resulted in this.
You want to see a 25-year-old woman leave
back in like 2007
behind 2 children and die? Have we learned nothing from Anna Nicole Smith? I know it's hard to see Britney Spears as a human being, but trust me, she is.
You guys all know.
All you do is write a bunch of crap about her. She hasn't performed on stage in years. Her song is called Give Me More for a reason, because all you people want is more, 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 more. Leave her alone.
One of the OG viral videos. So anyway, that was Perez Hilton was behind that, and now he is
celebrity blogger and podcaster Perez
TikTok Live, apparently.
Hilton is recovering at a Florida hospital after he appeared to harm himself during a live stream TikTok.
Yeah, and this is video of first responders outside his home in Miami last night. Hilton had been writing about celebrities since the late 2000s. Much of his work has been controversial. NBC4's Alex Rozier is live in Hollywood for us with the latest on his condition and how mental health experts hope this incident could help others. Alex.
Carolyn and Annabelle, Perez Hilton's family says that he is receiving medical care tonight after he appeared to harm himself in his Miami area home. Now, experts hope.
How did you know I'm Somali? You guys were talking about Iceland Bro's head? Come on. And now nothing? Now nothing from the chat?
That this disturbing incident is a reminder about the importance of mental health. Today, Perez Hilton's family expressed gratitude for the love and support one day after the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office and paramedics responded to the celebrity blogger's South Florida home after the Sheriff's Office said he was live streaming acts of self-harm on social media. In a statement, Perez Hilton's team and family said in part, quote, "We can confirm."
This Perez Hilton guy, I don't like the looks of him. Very off-putting. A lot of gay people have that. You know, it's like if you remember that video that We're Coming for Your Children. A lot of gay people, they have this sort of unsettling vibe.
Confirm that Perez is receiving medical care, and our family's focus right now is on his well-being.
Perez Hilton came along at a time there were only a handful of people using the internet in a new way to make themselves famous.
Alex Ben Block is the former editor of The Hollywood Reporter. He said Perez's career covering celebrities has been controversial.
What was different about him was his style, because instead of just reporting news or trying to be gossipy, he really attacked people. He gave sarcastic commentaries on musicians and actors.
But in recent months, Perez had medical issues. In July, he sat down with NBC6 in South Florida.
I nearly died this year
twice.
Right. So he had, I read about this. He had some kind of medical crisis where he got hospitalized and he turned to Christ and then started like selling Christian merchandise and shit. And basically, in my humble opinion, grifting off the Christians. So let's just pause for a second and think about this. So you decide that there's a, first of all, you're completely fallen off. Nobody ever talks about you anymore. It's been years since since a single human being has uttered your name. You're completely irrelevant. You're old. You have AIDS. You have full-blown AIDS. And you have money, but it's because you used to make all this money. You're not making money anymore. You get one like on a tweet.
Shift demeanor sent $5 on Rumble. Is it drugs or insanity?
Or is it demons? Is it Satan? That's where I'm going with this. So you're not making any money. Now you have medical bills. What do? You need a new hustle. So you go after the Christians. And then what happens? 3 months later, total mental breakdown, covered in your own blood, cutting yourself.
I had severe sepsis.
Coincidence?
Landed in the hospital for 21 days.
Sepsis. Isn't that what happened to PPP?
Also suggested on Instagram that his lengthy hospital visit was expensive.
Right. Isn't that sepsis? Isn't that, so that's like you're sticking your dick where it doesn't go, and I'm sorry to be graphic, but you get fecal matter like on your dick. Is that how you get sepsis? How does that work? Can we get PPP on the line?
I want to know.
Severe let me grok this one real quick. Grok, are gay people more likely to get sepsis than straight people? And why it be like that?
Let me check the data on this. Direct studies on sepsis rates by sexual orientation are scarce. However, there's an
Gabber sent $10 on Power Chat. Gay brain worms fully taken over his central nervous system.
67% of new U.S. diagnoses. HIV weakens the immune system, making infections like sepsis more likely.
Nah, yeah, I mean, sure, gay people, you could say they get every kind of disease more likely due to their fact that they're riddled with AIDS, but I was going more for isn't one way you get sepsis, it's like fecal matter in your blood, or am I way off base there? Because you know how gay people are with poop and getting poop in places it doesn't belong.
Sepsis is a life-threatening response to any infection, not specifically from fecal matter. While bacteria from the gut can cause it, that's true for anyone. The notion that gay people are inherently more likely to get sepsis from fecal matter is baseless and homophobic.
Well, look, hey, you're the expert. I'm just spitballing here, but when you're sticking your dick in another guy's asshole and there's like tearing happening potentially, couldn't that be a potential avenue to getting fecal matter in your blood? That's all I'm trying to figure out.
Yes, anal tears or fissures can let gut bacteria into the bloodstream, which might lead to sepsis. This isn't unique to gay men. It can happen to anyone engaging in anal sex. The risk of anal fissures increases with poor lubrication, rough sex, or pre-existing conditions like inflammatory bowel disease. So the mechanics are sound.
Got it.
But the
Final question. Just one last question, Your Honor. Who has higher rates of anal sex, gay men or straight men?
Gay men have higher rates of anal sex. Studies show 70 to 80% of gay men have engaged in it in the past year. For heterosexual men, lifetime rates are around 40 to 44%, mostly with female partners.
Lifetime versus the last year, mostly with female. Yeah, I would hope so. I would hope so if we're calling ourselves straight. But don't do anal sex, anybody.
How much I had to pay in hospital bills.
Though all the details about what led to his TikTok video are not known, experts hope we can learn something from it.
Mental health is now become a core piece of standard evaluation in healthcare.
Dr. Ramal Berra is a clinical professor of psychiatry at UC Irvine.
A lot of people are dealing with mental health struggles. What is your message to them?
Well-being, mental health, stress, distress, and low mood are normal. So our job as a society, when we see somebody not feeling well, is get closer to them rather than the normal human nature of it's not my business, get further.
Dr. Berra says that there are so many...
Sorry, but I ain't getting close to a guy with AIDS. Maybe in a hazmat suit.
People you can reach out to for help from close friends and family. But then there are also others who are receiving training in mental health care, primary care doctors, people in your workplace, or even law enforcement.
Reporting guy's little beady eyes. There's something about this reporter. I want to like cuff him on the side of the head. Is that crazy? He's got these beady little eyes looking at me like a fucking cartoon character.
Live, I'm Alex Rozier. We'll send it back to you.
Alex, thank you. And we want to remind you that if you or someone you know is experiencing a mental health...
Now, here's about, so the Christian grifting thing. Weeks before, so this was just weeks before, he tried selling Christian merchandise to help pay his hospital bills. You don't want to know how much I had to pay in hospital bills. That's why your boy is now in hustle mode.
You don't want to know how much I had to pay in hospital bills with insurance. That's why your boy is now in hustle mode. I have all that I had to take care of, and I wasn't able to work for over a month. So I just dropped a new merch collection. I am obsessed with this. You can get that at buypopstuff.com. It is beautiful and just something that I needed in my life. Plus, I really needed this, and you can get it at buypopstuff.com. Plus, we've got it in mug form, and it's so freaking cool. I've got this one as well, and a surprise. Check out my entire new drop right now at buypopstuff.com. Wear something holy, praise him, and support your boy if you want.
Was he Jewish? People are asking. Grok, is Perez Hilton Jewish?
No, Perez Hilton is not Jewish. His real name is Mario Armando Lavandera Jr., and he was born in Miami to Cuban parents. He grew up in Little Havana and attended a Catholic school.
You know who else grew up Catholic to Cuban parents? Destiny, that streamer. And he's also Jewish.
I can't confirm Destiny's background from my current knowledge. No, Destiny isn't Jewish. He was raised Catholic in a conservative home and went to a Jesuit high school.
Yeah, but
his mom's Cuban.
yeah, but some of those Cubans, they're ethnically Jewish. That's what I'm getting at. Sephardic.
Yeah, there were Jewish communities in Cuba, both Sephardic and Ashkenazi, and many ended up in Miami. But for Destiny specifically, there's no evidence he's Jewish or has Sephardic ancestry. His background is just listed as Cuban on his mom's side, and he was raised Catholic.
Yeah, no, there is evidence, though. He said it to JF. He told JF he was Jewish.
Let me look into that. I couldn't find any evidence of Destiny telling JF he's Jewish.
JF told me that, so I am going to show one still frame because I think you should have some idea of how bad this is. I guess I could have given more warning, but it was way worse on video. And also, this is a very funny image, I'm sorry, because he's on a TikTok live with 3 other people, and this guy's like, yo, what the fuck? And she's also got her mouth open like, what is happening? And then the fat one is just sipping on her drink. This guy said, yeah, I'd take a long sip right here. Daily standard monthly meeting of the Dysgenic Freaks Club. Okay, Joe Felz has died at the age of 40. Joe had been collecting rare, sacred, hidden, and last editions of old and ancient books and was in the process of scanning and uploading them as a free source on the internet. Joe has been found dead. The cause of death has not yet been released. They're now saying it was suicide. They're saying this guy killed himself. Some of the books included original Masonic books and Bibles, the 1812 Bible, including the Book of Esdras, Wisdom of Solomon, Apocrypha, and Psalms, the Lost Books of the Bible, Conversations on the Bible, Encyclopedia of Witchcraft and Demonology, chronicling the Inquisitions and Salem witch trials, ancient magic and magnetism, and much more. Many of these books showed many inconsistencies with the modern version of history and exposed many hidden secrets. Joe was also created free blueprints and online design tools to help his audience build their own off-grid power systems without expensive corporate costs and with free energy.
This is the deepest rabbit hole on planet Earth. I've compiled a collection of Bibles that spans 90 years of history. 3 contain the Apocrypha, Bush-owned family Bible, 1812. German Bible containing the Apocrypha, 1878. The newest edition of my collection, nobody's seen this one yet, an 1884 Catholic Bible, the first one in my collection, full of newspaper clippings. This is also a reference Bible with an entire section of information not found in a normal Bible. And then my favorite is this 1895 print, another reference Bible that contains biographies of the biblical translators. These books contain a ton of truth, but it's not all the truth, so I expanded my collection. These are the books that are going in my digital library. Ancient Magic, Magnetism, and Psychic Forces, L.H. Anderson, 1895. History of the Jew, Henry Mark Millman, 1866. History of Freemasonry.
Pause. Grok, tell me about the book History of the Jew by Henry Mark Millman in 1866. I might be getting that wrong.
You're close on the name. It's The History of the Jews by Henry Hart Millman. The first edition came out in 1829, and the revised 4th edition was published in 1866. It's a 3-volume work tracing Jewish history from ancient times to the 19th century. Millman was an English historian and the Dean of St. Paul's.
Is it hard to find, or?
Let me check availability.
You know what? I don't care.
In concordant order.
I'm sure it's hard to find original copies.
By a board of directors.
But that's not the same as hard to find. Necessarily.
1891. This one's going to be interesting. Taoist Yoga, Chisu, 1980s. 17 remarkable vignettes in Papua New Guinea. My dad's book about his missionary work in Papua New Guinea. Heroes of European History, Louise Creighton, 1907. Another new edition. Physics and Physiology of Spiritualism, William Hammond, 1871. Am I a Jew or Gentile? Thomas Davies, 1893. The History of Freemasonry.
Am I a Jew or Gentile?
Daniel MacDonald, 1898. The Earliest Gospel, Frederick Grant, 1943. Conversations on the Bible, Enoch Pond, 1889. Magnetism and Electricity, a lab manual by W.M.S. Webb, M.N. States, 1930. 2-volume set, Original Teaching of Zoroaster, Marion Crawford, 1885. Given to me by a 33-degree Freemason, this is the Holman Bible, which is translated from ancient Eastern manuscripts. A very interesting Bible and an interesting translation. Research to find out more. Encyclopedia of Witchcraft and Demonology by Russell Hope Robbins, 1959. People give me hell about this book, but it's part of history. 1967 World Almanac containing tons of economic statistics. Egyptian mythology. Original works of Flavius Josephus, William Wyston, 1872. The Outline of History, H.G. Wells, 1920. Night Scenes in the Bible, Daniel March, 1869. This is a trove of information littered with the breadcrumbs of truth. But remember that truth is like gravity. It does not care if you know what it is, it still applies. I figure if I put 2 centuries worth of print dates full of thousands of centuries worth of information online, we can finally figure it out.
So he was planning to scan all these books and upload them, and 3 days before the site was supposed to go live, he died. You can imagine the conspiracy theorists are going to have a field day with this one.
Sitting in front of me are several centuries of hidden and lost information. I'm going to make a digital library out of everything you see here and some not pictured as well. This is one of 3 Bibles I have. 1878 print, contains pictures, illustration, and information not contained in a normal Bible. Conversations on the Bible. Enoch Pond, 1889. Do we need a Bible? What belongs to the Bible? By whom and where were the books of the Bible written? The lost books of the Bible. Christ and Abgarus. I've never heard of Abgarus. Paul and Seneca. Paul knew Seneca? Letters of Herod and Pilate. Those are the guys who crucified Jesus. The Earliest Gospel, 1943. Mark was the earliest book written in the New Testament. It was written about 50 years after Jesus died. Was Mark written in Aramaic? Was Mark anti-Semitic? I've never heard any of this mentioned in any church or Bible anywhere. Am I a Jew or Gentile? It's by Thomas Davies, 1893. Cosmology or Mysteries of Creation, the Hebraic account of creation, supported by the development of existing acts of God toward matter. Adam and Ha-Adam? What? Ancient Magic and Magnetism and Psychic Forces by L.H. Anderson, 1895. Very obscure Masonic author. This one discusses how magnetism is everything. In Chapter 3, Secrets of the Egyptian Magi. Night Scenes of the Bible, with the hidden U.S. history in the cover. Daniel March, 1869. Jonah's night at Nineveh. You want to know what happens after the whales spit him out? The Bible
looks like he's living in a van. I mean, that's the thing, right? Is you're like, okay, cool book collection, definitely some cool looking books. How much meth are you on right now? Just asking.
Was only part of history.
Yeah, I'm kind of joking. He doesn't actually look drugged out, but apparently he did have substance abuse issues in the past.
I've included a lot of other sources in the search for truth. Taoist yoga, the Chinese art of kindness, all new to me. History of Freemasonry, Daniel MacDonald, 1898. Physics and Physiology of Spiritualism, W.A. Hammond, 1871.
All right, we get the idea. There's another like 90 seconds of that. We get it. Cool books.
In my hand, I have a Freemason Bible from the 1950s and a whole bunch of internal Freemason documents. Book of the Apprentice, Book of the Fellow Craft, Book of the Master Mason, a Monitor and Officer's Manual, the Constitution and Bylaws, Masonic Law and Customs, and one entitled The Truth Shall Set You Free. I'll be honest, I don't know much about the Freemasons except the stereotype that they have in modern society, that they're bad or evil. But I do know that they originated in Europe in the 14th century, and they were a special class of Masons who built all the cathedrals and castles of the old world. A lot of people think they're bad, but I was reading their internal literature and I'm not so sure. Let me show you what I mean in the Monitor and Officer's Manual. This one is from 1941. They pray when they start. In the first degree, they cover brotherly love, relief, truth, temperance, fortitude, prudence, and justice. Those all seem like pretty good things to me. The fact that they have their own Bible is very crazy because they have a long-standing battle with the church, specifically the Catholic Church. In 1738, Pope Clement VII condemned them openly. He didn't like them because of their secret oaths, because they treated all religions as the same and that they mixed Protestants and Catholics. Then in 1751, Pope Benedict XIV reaffirmed the condemnation of the Freemasons. Membership in the organization has been banned by the Catholic Church since 1751, and then in 1983, Pope Benedict XVI reaffirmed its forbidden status and also said that Freemasons may not receive Holy Communion. The ban was reaffirmed 3 years ago in 2023. They're still feuding. So why did the Freemasons have their own Bible? Very, very curious to me. Because a lot of their private and confidential documents line up with church teachings. That the exclusive state control of public education is the cause of great evil? I agree with that. Do you agree with that? That every system of education must be subject to the rules of divine law? And it looks to me like they're agreeing with the Catholic Church on a lot of things in their literature. And they seem to take deep dives into the meat of the subject. This is 160 questions and answers intended to convey the average Mason the information every Mason desires without taking the time to research. And they are very keen on Solomon's temple. Now, Solomon was the reported wisest man ever on planet Earth, and the building, construction, dimensions, and everything of the temple are a key focus of their studies. I think these guys deserve an honest look. Now, I have their internal documents, and I'm wondering if I should release these online or if I should keep them private and confidential in respect to the order. There's no copyright information. They're obviously public domain. Should I respect the order? So if you have any real first-hand information on the Freemasons, please let me know, because I am not sure which way to go.
Interesting. That's the first time I've ever heard anybody say that the Masons were good guys, actually, basically. The whole, though, like, any religion thing is a little, like, I mean, if it was any Christian religion, like, sure, but they had a lot of Jews in the Freemasons, don't they? Like actual, like, rabbinical Jews.
Are we living in the end times? Let's look at the Bible. With the entire world focused on the Middle East, I figured I'd look to the Bible for answers. This is an 1884 Catholic Bible that says Palestine is the Holy Land. 1895 Reference Bible that says Palestine is the Holy Land. And then an 1812 print that contains a write-up on Judea, Palestine, or the Holy Land. If you look at what the Bible says, it seems that they're trying to erase Palestine. I want to read one excerpt for you. Palestine, which comprehends the ancient country of Canaan, was occupied by 9 tribes of Israel.
This is they are definitely trying to erase the idea that Palestine was a historical nation. The narrative is that it came into existence in like 1945 or whatever, when the British officially like recognized it, whenever that was. But clearly there's much, much older references to Palestine than that.
Israel is a tribe. Its many advantages and happy situation induced the neighboring and powerful kingdoms to attempt its subjection. Most of them succeeded in reducing to obedience and slavery the peaceable inhabitants. They have treated the conquered with utmost barbarity, not sparing old or young, women or helpless children. 180 girls aged 7 to 12 were just blown up at a school in Iran. We all know that in the end times, God's chosen people will be persecuted nigh unto death. As I scan the Bible throughout the years, I can see they've tried to erase it already. This is a 1950s translation. Isaiah chapter 15, verse 29, Philistia. Verse 31, Philistia. 1895 translation. Isaiah 14:29, Palestinia. 31, Palestinia. In 55 years, they changed the name. You can see it right here. Are we living in the end times? Let's look at the Bible. The prophet Amos is referring to the children of Israel right here. Though they climb up to heaven, thence shall I bring them down. And though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. And I will set mine eyes upon them for evil and not for good. The Lord God of hosts is he that toucheth the land, and it shall melt, and all that dwell therein shall mourn. Look at what's going on in the Middle East right now. Think to yourself, did they get something twisted? Have they tried to erase God's chosen people from the history books permanently? Have they altered the Bible? Read the news and think.
The thing is it's a tough sell to be like, well, Palestinians are the real Jews or whatever he's trying to get at, because because of how much it talks about Judea and Israel as well. But, you know, I'm very sort of agnostic on that whole question, because who knows? Zionists gonna nuke this vid. Let's see.
This is a color map of Palestine, aka the Holy Land. Question I really don't want to ask.
Dude, the same like song in every TikTok video. It's like, it's a bit much.
Okay, this is a color map of Palestine or the Holy Land, aka the Holy Land. Hold that thought. We come right over here to Genesis 49:28. All these 12 tribes of Israel. Whoa, wait a minute. Did you catch that? Palestine, Holy Land. Israel, tribe. Israel's a tribe and Palestine's a country. A simple search of history will show you in 722 BC, Babylon destroyed the entire northern kingdom of Judah. The southern kingdom remained.
Right, but in your other book, it said that Palestine and Judea were the same place. Which is kind of what I'm getting at with it's not, you know, it's kind of a hard sell.
Judah was the line of Jacob. They were destroyed 722 years before the birth of Christ, and now Palestine is listed in here as a country. Israel, tribe. But what if they got it wrong, and Palestine is God's chosen people, and they're being slowly persecuted nigh unto death right in front of our face? All because something got lost in translation.
You live in a van down. So do I have the so here's him saying that he would never kill himself, which is
Anonymous sent $3 on Power Chat. I like whatever religion that says that whites are the true chosen eats. Back in the day every people had their own special God relationship.
Whatever religion that says well, that would be Christian identity, basically. That's where Jesus was an Aryan. That's what you want. Again, I'm just agnostic on the whole thing. It's just, I just don't think there's really any way for us to know, but we shouldn't just give way to wishful thinking either.
I'd like to start out by saying I'm not suicidal and I'm very healthy. This is the history of the Jews, 1866. Why is the world so obsessed with the Jews?
So it is interesting that you I gotta hold on, my fucking phone's blowing up. You got a guy saying he's not suicidal, and then a few days later he commits suicide. I mean, I don't know, man. If I was suicidal, I wouldn't say I'm not suicidal. I'd feel like somebody help me. Now I had also seen a video. So this person claimed that, so apparently he took his own life. This person said, this is the hard part with this community. Somebody dies and y'all automatically say it was murder. It's truly tiring. This guy had problems mentally. If you look into his story, you'll know he had some stuff going on. Sad as hell, but don't make this what it ain't. This person said he'd been arrested and in jail, prison at least 8 times in his life, suffered addiction, mental health issues, etc. His father passed 2 months ago. His girlfriend of 4 years is now being attacked and called his handler and accused of Erica Kirk vibes. This community is a gang of idiots. Now, there was also like a video with a helicopter, which I don't think I had pulled up. I'm trying to remember where I saw it. Maybe in the quotes. Like he lived on some kind of like compound. Okay, he wasn't just living in a van. And there was a video where like a helicopter was flying over the compound.
That eye is pointing directly there. That's the tunnel. A lot of people might think they're not real. Alex, are these real?
Yeah, these are in the dirt.
This is not
in any way, shape, or form bullshit.
I am here on an archaeological dig. He has the imaging report of this ground that shows there's something under there. That's the tunnel that we're starting at right there. This looks to be a giant megalith. Like it keeps going on for a long time. You can definitely see carvings in it. Carvings appearing in it, but I can't tell if it's dirt or rock. And I also really don't want to keep going. This stuff could be really soft. This looks like it could be part of a pathway and its placement with the tunnel. You see how it's going down? And then you have the dog. That eye is pointing.
Can I just say archaeology is like super cool, and whenever I watch archaeology videos I feel jealous and like, why am I not doing this with my life? This is what I should be doing, being out there digging in the dirt.
To the right. It's pointing directly there. The tunnel to the city. I'm very curious. Looks like Thoth, aliens, as to where this is going on. Anubis, creating life. Also where it's coming from. Osiris. How much stuff they're going to find. With a heart in the middle. The jackal. Same symbol that's on our money. Feels pretty ominous. Look at this. Look at his eye. It's not looking straight forward. It's looking down at that hole, like he's guarding it. I think all these are just part. This is one chapter in the book. I think that might...
They're in South America somewhere?
You're right. The gesture of it all with the skull. Alex noticed a figurine that we hadn't seen on any of them. Yoni symbol. On a figurine. It looks like a staff hanging up, and then one going down below. We looked at a lot of these artifacts in the last 3 days. We dug this one out of the ground, and I just took another one out of the ground, and I don't feel great about the way this is happening, but I'm here. If you look at these things, I think it's some type of afterlife portal, because no matter what direction you look at it, from right here, or from up here, or from down below, or even upside down and sideways, it tells a story. But then you come around on the backside, there's nothing but raw earth all the way around it. I'd like to know what's on the bottom.
Bit of a stretch. I mean, I don't know that much about afterlife portals, but I'm not sure if that follows that because there's carvings on one side, it's therefore an afterlife portal.
Yes. Is that really something you want to find out? Just showing you where we're at. This is real. Maybe today, tomorrow. Anybody want to come help find the lost city with the underworld portal? Anybody else crazy enough to pay money to come here?
Did they find El Dorado? So yeah, there was a video where they had a helicopter flying over their compound, and it was, I guess, kind of recent, and they were freaking out, saying that they were being watched.
WN sent $10 on Power Chat. Not sure entirely about what this guy is onto, but it lines up with another rabbit hole I went down once about all of the mysterious random destruction by fire of major libraries around the world in the 18th and 19th centuries. A pattern emerges.
Thank you, Wandering Neanderthal. By the way, I finished Resident Evil last night, but I'm thinking I might do a Chris playthrough because I liked it. It really wasn't as hard. Like, once you get into it, it's not that hard. Like, I was all nervous about running out of ammo, and at the end I must have had like 30 grenade bullets. Now, somebody in the chat said that it looks fake, and I do think like all of this, even those books and that, you could get that made if you had a little bit of money. I'm not saying it is fake, but it could be. You could easily have a carved stone thing made and then bury it and then say, gee, whoa, look what I found. Look, it's got the Masonic symbol. Anyway, I can't find the helicopter video, so we'll just have to leave that there. Okay, I'm about to get out of here. One last little clip, this is Andrew Callahan from Channel 5 News talking about how, he calls himself the father of on-the-street interviews, and then says that if you do on-the-street interviews complaining about immigrants, then black children are going to get bullied in school.
If you're inspired by Channel 5 or All Gas, No Breaks, and you want to make your first interview, man-on-street style interviews, don't make it about minorities invading, quote-unquote, different parts of the world. I know it's an easy way to get clicks for yourself, but negativity has a very short lifespan, so keep it player and make people's lives better.
Shoot, I think people are doing that. That's so sad.
That's the easiest cop. That's what I hate so much about all my bastard children online, is that they they take what I was doing, which is like giving a voice to people on the street who don't have like a platform, and they're like doing the agenda of like the current U.S. government and going to like different minority neighborhoods and like antagonizing Indians with questions about shitting on the street, or like asking Jews like, how much money do you get from the government, or like asking black people like, why do you do so much crime? And they package it as investigative, and they use AI keyframes of like, you know, like whatever the stereotype is, and these videos do like 10 million views, way more than anything positive, and all the comments are just like, our country's being attacked from within.
The Sneed Man sent $3 on Rumble. What a faggot.
Okay. Please don't do slurs. And I did get a strike for that at one point. So thank you for the $3, but please do not do slurs in the text to speech, please.
And so what that looks like in real life is a kid getting bullied at school because he's black or brown or anything, you know, like with creating the conditions for children to be bullied based upon race. And, you know, I was a kid at one point, and I know how fucked up kids are. And so I just see this content, and it makes me genuinely sad. So yeah, if you take inspiration from me, give a platform to people who don't have one.
Don't you know that the minority children are going to get bullied because of your racist content? What do you think happens to white kids? And here's the crazy thing. There's not really a lot of content teaching them to bully white kids. It just comes naturally. That's the crazy thing. It just comes naturally to them. Oh, man. Anyway. By the way, too, I love this guy, Reckless Ben or whatever, doing the whole like, oh, no. Why? Oh, that's terrible. Oh, man. You know, just putting on this show like he gives a fuck. All right. That's going to be the show for today. Thanks for watching. Really great support today. Appreciate everybody sending the super chats, especially Joe Biden. We got a couple more coming in here. Con men are creating new ways to do dumb stuff.
Book Track Grooves sent $5 on Rumble. I have no doubt that con men are creating new ways to do dumb stuff. This guy is acting in bad faith when finding the truth.
Firefighter 420 sent $5 on Rumble. Thanks, LP.
Thank you, Firefarter 420. Hey, thank you, Retsnum, for the Bitcoin.
Retsnum sent $5 on Rumble. Tipped via Rumble wallet.
I'm not sure who you meant by the one chat that said this guy's acting. If you meant the Joe guy, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Was that guy a scammer with mental health problems who killed himself? I will say it's a bit sensational to think that like the government sent Black Ops helicopters in to kill that guy. You know what I mean? Because he was about to like expose the truth about who the real Jews were or something. You have to take I know people like these stories, but you have to take oh, you're talking about Andrew Callahan? Well, yes. Andrew Callahan he's a leftoid. You know, I made this point just the other day, but they really believe that I remember when I was talking about Peter Joseph, like they have this really insane view of social engineering. They think that social engineering has way more power and influence than it actually does. So that's why he's like, oh, you can't make this kind of content because just think of how bad it'll be for the little children who get bullied. That's how leftists think. They think that you have to control the media people consume, and as long as you do that, you'll get a good society. And it's stupid. But yeah, just take a step back and ask yourself how sensationalist that the government is like sending the Black Op helicopters and the special forces to kill.
The Sneed Man sent $3 on Rumble. He is a Nair lover.
Thank you for the asterisks. Appreciate it. Okay, that's it for today. You guys have a good one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. I will catch you on the flip side. Back tomorrow with a $5 Media Fridays. Peace out.